teams, I'm sure. To soak in. So it's pretty muddy, it's pretty bare in certain patches, just going to wander, and now we're coming towards the pitch, and this is the worry. It is very, very soft round here. It will take a sort of course, but it's going to get churned up a little bit, and the options and the possibilities for slipping around is going to be quite heavy. So just coming up to where the pitch is going to be today, it's still undercover. The Super Sopper is doing its work just behind me, and the groundsmen are shifting the water with their brooms and trying to get as much surface water off the covers as they possibly. They're going to be running up, and again, it is...
Didn't have his umbrella up. It's not raining at the moment. Doesn't look too bad, actually, where it comes from over the pavilion here, the Graham Hick Pavilion. But as you just heard there, it is very, very wet. The players are doing all they can to try and prepare themselves. Though I guess there are areas that are slightly drier than others, and that is, it must be an area where it's okay to just do your warm-ups and try and get prepared for any cricket that might come their way. That was all a bit depressing, Butch, wasn't it, listening out there?
Well, no, I thought Daggers was doing a tremendous David Bellamy impersonation out there. It was stunning stuff from the old boy. But yeah, I mean, I had a wander around there, and the water does come up over the top of your shoes. But the more close to the pavilion you get, the worse it gets. It's actually okay by the scoreboard. But yeah, and the sort of the dark clouds are encircling us a little bit at the moment as well. So the news isn't particularly great.
Goffey was just telling us it's the first time he's been back at this ground since 2007. Yeah, you've been talking soccer all your life since, haven't you?
Well, I've managed to keep in touch with cricket. I've been around the world working in certain tournaments, but yes, working at TalkSport, it's mainly been football. I've been to 3 World Cups, 2 European Championships, but here I am back at Worcester. I never thought I'd see this crowd again, but I used to love.
Back at this ground since 2007. 2007. Yeah, you've been
walking through the city there. Obviously, the big cathedral there. One of our. I've been around the 19s. Used to be the boss looking at TalkSport there for a few hours every Sunday morning, but not for. I'm back at Worcester. Never thought I'd see this crowd again, but I used to love playing. But you know what? I never thought I'd see this crowd again, but I used to love playing here. One of my better grounds, probably because Graham Hick was in the lineup and he used to get 100 for fun against most teams. I do love coming here. I've had some good friends here. Kevin Sharp, who was...
Well, let's make an attempt anyway at trying to talk this game up, because we may get some cricket a little later. As you can see, it's looking a little bleak at the moment, but let's hope that we get some cricket of some sort, perhaps a little later in the afternoon. If we do, Butch, what would be the key battles then that you're looking forward to watching?
Well, I mean, generally in T20 cricket, the sort of the top 3 versus the strike bowlers, I guess. So Northants have been a little bit short of runs. So the likes of young Pat Brown trying to make inroads into Josh Cobb, Richard Levy, Adam Rossington, the sort of the big hitters in the Northants lineup will be good to watch. Should we get that sort of play out there? And of course Martin Guptill and Callum Ferguson, a couple of quality players. Ben Cox, who we've seen, steered Worcester to the championships at the title last year in the T20. He's been a little bit quiet, I think, this year since for one reason or another. So there are some good matchups out there. Just desperately hoping that we're going to play. And I suppose the one thing that people may or may not know at the moment is that Moeen Ali is not available to play, so Worcestershire are going to have Ferguson at the helm. Yeah,
that surprised you a bit, that he's not available?
No, not really. I mean, I think that the signs have been that that he's struggling a little bit in terms of sort of mental fatigue, perhaps. Doesn't look to be anywhere near the sort of potent player that England have had in Moeen Ali over the last 18 months. And so, he's been left out of the England side, and I think that's only right and proper, because he's not being able to offer, the control with the ball that his captain requires of him in the test matches. And as a consequence of that, he probably feels it's best he goes away for a week or so, couple of weeks, and gets his head back together again.
Where do you stand with all this? Players taking a break when they're struggling, or should they get back out there and do what they do well and get back in form?
Well, it's different now, isn't it? Time moves on. We've seen how the development of the blast has gone on over the years, and it's same with man management. Back in our day, you weren't allowed to have any time off. You had to get straight back on and start playing cricket again. But with Moeen Ali, it's someone I always believe with Moeen Ali is, but when he's number one bowler in the side and he's expected to take wickets, he struggles. When he's the second spinner in the team, he's used as the first spinner, but mentally it helps him and he tends to deliver. You look at his performances in Sri Lanka, Butch, we were there, weren't we? In Sri Lanka this winter, he was excellent. 17 wickets he got in Sri Lanka.
Ball turns there. Gives him a bit of assistance.
Well, sometimes it's harder when the ball's turning because he's under pressure to put the ball in the right areas. And remember, we had Rashid and we had Leach, who all bowled well, all three of them. Leach and Ali were the standout. But I think when he's not got the pressure of being the out-and-out spinner, the only man in the team, I think he's a better performer.
We're going to talk about England a little bit later, but whilst we are just talking about Leach, you happy that he's the next man in? Is that a straightforward decision?
Yeah, without any question. Yeah, I thought he bowled pretty well for England in the winter in the West Indies. Of course, the 97 helped as night watchman, but you're not picking him because of that. He has been the outstanding spin bowler, wicket-taking spin bowler and containing spin bowler in the country for the last 2 or 3 years. So absolutely right that he should be in. And of course, Steve Smith's lack of numbers, or relative lack of numbers, I should say, against left-arm spin also helps in terms of that selection. It gives Joe Root another surprise, or it won't be a surprise, but another angle of attack that he didn't have in the first Test match. And can I just go back to something? I said Ben Cox.
Indeed.
Ben Cox won Worcestershire the blast last year, and of course he's been struggling to make any runs for Worcestershire because he's now playing at Notts.
Right. I'm glad we've cleared all that up for you. It's all very straightforward and very simple. Moeen Ali is not playing, though, in this game. He's having a rest or taking a break for a while. Ben Sanderson, though, is playing. And he's not necessarily a household name for many of you, but Northants fans will know that he's having a terrific season. We've got some numbers here that we ought to show you because it just kind of makes or sums that up for you, really. You knew him when he was a Yorkshire lad. He moved, here in 2015.
Sheffield. He used to play in the leagues at Sheffield. They have two teams there. There used to be Collegiate and then Abbeydale, where obviously he had Michael Vaughan connection there. He was on the academy at Yorkshire, played a couple of games for us. It didn't work out. He then went out at the game. He played a good standard of club cricket, kept performing. And then he got his opportunity at Northants, and since he's been at Northants, he's been absolutely excellent in all forms of the game. He's quite skiddy off the pitch, he mixes his pace up well. Kevin Sharp is a guy who was at Yorkshire when I played cricket with Kevin, and then he became one of the batting coaches, and now he's here doing his magic at Worcester. He knows him well from those days, working on the academy, so it's just worked out well for him, but he's going to be playing against his old coach today, and obviously Kevin Sharp at Worcester and Ben Sanderson with Northants.
Ed Barnard, you briefly mentioned him earlier. How crucial is he to the Rapid success in the last year or two?
Oh, huge. I mean, I think the thing that surprises you about him is he comes in sort of low down the list, and you're not expecting the sort of innings that we've seen from him on the TV. He's unbelievably clear in terms of his thought. He seems to be able to find the middle of the bat anywhere he wants to. And that was an absolutely magnificent shot and a really slow, tricky pitch to time the ball on. And he made 42 in next to no time, and was the difference between Worcestershire winning and losing that game. Picks up vital wickets with the keeper up, which is always handy, and is brilliant in the outfield. Just have a look at this. Yeah, he's a seriously good young cricketer. Very unassuming, he's kind of, he's not one of these guys with rippling. In at the moment, where they're in third at the minute, and they're a very talented unit, and they play as a team. I mean, that's the beauty of Worcestershire. That's where their strength lies, is that they kind of get the most out of their individual parts, and they put it all together really nicely.
I don't know if you were watching last night. It was an amazing innings. Tom Banton.
Well, do you know something? Nothing surprises me now, because young players coming into the game, Nick, as we've seen now, they have no fear. They come in, they can hit the ball out of the ground. They are 360 degrees players. And as you can see, this lad, he's got all the talent in the world. He's tall, he can reverse sweep, 360 degrees players. And when it's up there, they can use their feet well, and they back themselves to clear the boundaries. They're excellent. All the young players now have the ability to do this. It's just having the belief they can do it.
Right, I mean, he took down Hardistville Yearn, Adam Milne, Mohammed Nabi. I mean, it's a serious bowling attack that Kent have got. I'm talking about potentially going all the way in the Under-19 World Cup, and he just seems to be getting better and better. I suppose the comparison I can make is somebody like Kevin Peterson, not in terms of the way that he plays and the mannerisms, but he's a big, tall man. He's about 6'3", 6'4", imposing guy at the crease, but that doesn't seem to bother him when it comes to playing the quick, short stuff. You know, he's not one of these guys that kind of gets a bit tangled up when the ball gets above waist height. He plays the cricks really well, and he has, as Goffey said, the ability to hit it anywhere he likes, really. So he's certainly one to watch.
Well, that is this game's set up, and that's a bit on Tom Banton as well. And generally in the Blast, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got something very special for you, because Darren Goff alongside is going to roll back the years. He's going to have a ball in his hand, and he's going to tell us how to get this man out. England's bowlers have struggled in the first Test match. All the answers in just a moment.
Quarter pounder with cheese lovers, get ready. For a limited time, the double quarter pounder with cheese is here. A timeless classic, doubled.
Arthritis steals from someone you know every day. It can prevent you from being able to work, from being yourself. It shouldn't be like this.
That's why we are Versus Arthritis. Live your life unlimited.
Keep seeking new horizons.
Good evening and welcome to A League of Their Own. I'm James Corden. Whoa, wait, this isn't goodbye. All I said is episodes.
I'm in charge tonight.
He asked me to host. I was made for this.
Absolutely nailed that
Entertainment. See? It's all good. Join me and my guest host on a brand new A League of Their Own. Starts Thursday at 9 on Sky One.
It was going so well.
An outstanding session for England.
But one man had other ideas.
Steve Smith is back.
He's been quite magnificent. Fortress Edgbaston has been breached by the Australians.
Can England turn the tide at Lord's? Find out live on Sky Sports The Ashes. Ashes.
5 matches in 6.5 weeks will decide the Ashes.
Has it carried? Yes, it has. Oh, can you believe it? Oh, sure, yes.
How to get Stephen Smith out. Coffee, over to you.
Well, Steve Smith, we all know, we've seen him for many, many years now. He's a terrific player. Now, the last time he was over here with Australia, there was a lot of movement going on, wasn't there? A lot of late movement going on. When the ball was swinging around, he looked suspect of nicking off the slip. I still think that's the case. When you've got a batsman who moves around a lot, when the ball is swinging, you've got a good chance of getting him out, especially early on in the innings. We've got the bowlers to do that. Unfortunately, Jimmy Anderson is one of those bowlers. He's not going to be fit. Chris Ropes is another bowler who can do that. Very talented, gets his line and length right. If the ball's swinging around, I think he's a very dangerous bowler to Steve Smith. You've then got Jofra Archer, who's coming into the side. Terrific pace, tall, can hit the pitch hard, but he also skids the ball on, which I think is vital to Steve Smith. I really, really do, for that movement going on. But so when he's swinging, your normal position on the crease for the fast bowler is going to be around here, right in the middle of the wicket. You're looking at the ball, wicket to wicket. He's got that little bit of movement. He can leave well. When he's swinging consistently, he can leave well. That's what we've seen Steve Smith do. But when it's not swinging, the problem is, that's the problem when we're struggling to get Steve Smith out. As shown, it wasn't a flat pitch at Edgbaston, but it was flat enough for Steve Smith to line it up well. There was no real swing movement. He played the ball late, he waited for it straight, and then he played to his strengths. So what you've got to do is find a way to get him out. Now, what I would do, one of the options, is just mess around. Mess around on the crease. You've got to do something different. Remember, there's a lot of movement going on down there from Steve Smith. Now, what I got told as a youngster, and I know a lot of bowlers can do this, but they don't do it enough, is use the crease. So what happens if the ball's not swinging, you come a little bit wider, as wide as you possibly can, you change the angle. You slant it in towards Steve Smith, and any movement that then comes off that off-stump line, any movement whatsoever is exaggerated from the angle you are bowling it from, and the movement, Steve Smith, remember, is coming from leg stump across to the off-stump, so it's exaggerating that movement whatsoever. So one tactic I'd use is possibly coming wider the crease and looking to bowl that off-stump line. If it nips back, you're in the game LBW bowl. If not, and it holds its line, there's a chance it could nick off. It's a slight chance, but it's a better chance than we had at Edgbaston. Another option, switch over. A couple of balls over the wicket, then go round the wicket, bowl a couple of balls. Change the angles. Remember, there's a lot of movement going on there for Steve Smith. Don't let him settle. Don't let him become comfortable at the crease. Don't let it become repeatable for him. You do something different. And then the last one, which is a sign of kind of against the grain, is what I used to do to Kim Barnett, because it used to really annoy me with all that movement that's going on. Just bowl it from further back. Because he's got timing. It's all about batsmen loves a bit of timing. They love to get into their rhythm. They're watching your triggers and they react to your triggers. Do something different. Bowl from behind the crease. Bowl with no front arm. That'll really mess him up. He won't like that at all.
So what do you think, Butch? You're with bat in hand. What do you think to Goffey's last idea there? Would that do you? I mean, you had triggers that were quite exaggerated. Would that stuff you or not?
I don't know. I mean, some batters aren't watching the bowler all the way up. Some of them look down at their feet or whatever. I think, I can't remember, it's been so long since I held a bat. I think I'd be looking at the bowler's hand the whole time, so I kind of wouldn't be taking my eye off him. Now, my trigger movement would always come off the bowler getting into his delivery stride. That's kind of how I used to time it. So it might make a bit of a difference the first time you saw it. Did you get Kim Barnett out bowling from behind the stumps? That's the question. Did you get him out?
Nobody did tip me for four. Makes a bit different.
Good idea.
Well, what it could do, though, of course, is that it happens once, and then you think about it. You think, well, when's he going to do that again? When's he going to stick his tongue out at me? Whatever else you used to mess around doing.
Exactly, stuff like that. Remember, that's his job. He's there to bat, and he'll bat there all day. He's in no rush. People say just bowl outside off stump to him, or just leave it all day. No, well, he will. But eventually, somebody's going to get bored. If you're a fast bowler like me, I don't want to bowl outside off stump. I want to bowl to my strengths. I would still bowl to Steve Smith my usual way. I'd be looking to bowl wicket to wicket. The nip back ball would be the danger one. But what I would have is I'd have covered in at short mid wicket. I'd have a square leg and a straight mid on. That's how I would bowl to Steve Smith. Because if he misses, no matter how good he is, you hit.
I was going to say that to you. I mean, clearly he has this exaggerated movement across the crease. It must be difficult for bowlers because they're not sure what line to bowl. Would you gamble early on and go straight in at the stumps, or would you play the game and just go wider and wider?
I've never played a game. I'm not a Matthew Ogard. Matthew Ogard, when they went to India, you remember many years ago, they bowled outside off stump, didn't they? So it didn't make a difference. They still blasted them through the covers for 4 and then flicked them over square leg for 6. You've got to get them out. The idea of a test match, you've got to get the best batsman out and find a way to bowl to them. And every single player, sometimes a strength can be their weakness. Ricky Ponting, when he first came in, I used to bowl him half volleys. Bowl him in half volley outside off stump towards second slip. And he used to go at it and nick off now again. Another day, get 150. But you've got to try and get them out.
So you're not worried about going for runs then?
No, you can't be worried. The problem we've got, I think Jofra Archer won't be bothered about going for runs. He'll want to get him out. He'll want to prove that he can get him out. Chris Wokes is bothered about going for runs. Stuart Broad, as he's got older, is a fantastic performer, especially to left-handers, but he doesn't want to go for a run. We saw in the West Indies he bowled too short. And I think if we can get Stuart Broad believing he can get Steve Smith out, because he can, with his wrist, he sometimes doesn't get it right. Not intentionally, he slips over it, and that might just be the ball wide of the crease. It just holds its line and gets a little edge through to the wicket keeper, and Steve Smith goes.
Understandably, a lot of talk about Jofra Archer. How good is he? Opening bowler to opening bowler.
I've said all along, he'll be a better cricketer for England in the longer form of the game. I think he's all-round fantastic cricketer. Athletic in the field, can bowl, got the perfect action, can bowl at 90 miles an hour plus, and he can give it a touch with the bat. He's an absolutely diamond of a cricketer. I just hope he can stay fit now for a good length of time and show how good he is to the rest of the world.
And what's the theory behind this no front arm thing? What's just something different?
Same again. You're on about triggers from a fast ball. If you think, when I jump, I'm going up, the batsman reacts then when I'm going up to the movement. He'll react and get into his position, his triggers, back, across, whatever they may do. So if I do no front arm, how can he react to that trigger of me going up? Like I say, everybody's different, every batsman's different. I don't know what's inside Steve Smith's head. All I'm saying, make it uncomfortable as you possibly can for him. Do something different. Don't just run up and bowl outside off stump. You'll never get him out. He'll get 100 every game.
Well, the other thing you could try is as you did here. I mean, what's going on here, Goffey? When did you come up with this one?
I don't know, but I wish I were as slim as that now. That was boredom. That was bowling to Ridley Jacobs. He didn't enjoy that, actually. I don't know what made me do it. I ran in, as I ran into ball, I just pulled my tongue out. It was a flat pitch, wasn't it? I went against the West Indies. They were 6 down in the second innings. He was going nowhere the game, and I was just bored. And he actually missed it, didn't he? Nearly nicked it. And I felt like doing it again, but Bumble was in the commentary box, and I'll never forget Bumble, because it's been played time and time again. He lost it, didn't he? He just couldn't stop laughing, but everybody knows me for that.
Just quickly, how's this Test match going to go then at Lord's? How do England come back?
England are more than capable of coming back. They were in the Test match for 3 days, weren't they? So Australia have got weaknesses in the batting lineup. Steve Smith aside, their top order is as brittle, I suppose, as ours can be at times. I think that massive issue in the Test match was Jimmy Anderson walking off after 4 overs. I mean, you remove the best bowler that you've got from the team, you're going to struggle a little bit. So look, positives: Rory Burns making runs. We need more from the likes of Butler and Bairstow with the bat. And hopefully with Leach and Jofra Archer in the bowling attack, we'll have a cutting edge there, and we'll be back to having 5 bowlers, and the game will be even again. The one thing that England will perhaps be worried about more than anything else, Steve Smith aside, is the fact that Australia duff us up for fun at Lord's. And so they'll be hoping that they get something in terms of a surface that suits us more than it suits them.
Do you know, I always thought, if England are going to win the Ashes, we need to play on green pitches. It suits our bowlers: Broad, Wokes, Anderson, Archer. Archer aside is quick, we know that. But the rest of them need that little bit of help from the pitch. Australia, they've come prepared for all conditions with their team. The flatter the pitches are, the better chance Australia have of winning the game. Steve Smith will get runs galore, and they've got so many bowlers with variety who can bowl us out on flat pitches.
Just quickly, the one thing that worries me a little bit about Australia is that for me, the best bowler that they had last winter in the series they lost against India was Josh Hazlewood. And he's on the bench at the minute, and I don't see how he gets left out of the side because he's fantastic.
He bowled well here this week, so to be fair, I think if it is going to be grassier and they expect seam movement, I expect Hazlewood to come in.
Talking about green pitches, that pitch behind us is going to be pretty green. We've had a lot of rain, so we're not going to get a start here on time. And the Super Stoppers doing all they possibly can to get up all the water that is on this outfield. So as we promised, we are going to take you to the port of Spain for the second ODI between the West Indies and India, where I understand the weather is gorgeous. So that's great news. Nicholas Pooran, of course, who played for Yorkshire, is out there playing, and he's keeping wicket. Chris Gale will open the batting. As far as India, we need look no farther, really, than number 3, Virat Kohli, will captain the side. And what an opening partnership that is for Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan. So India have won the toss, and they've chosen to bat first.
It's a good start. Oh, is it?
He had 38.
Don't disagree with the scorer, Bob. We're only in the third over.
Well, he must
32.
Have
32.
Oh, it's now 26.
Oh, dear.
What?
The original one was wrong. They've had to go backwards to go up again. Are we sticking with 32, lads? We are.
Okay. Well, it says 25. No one knows what's going on. It says 26.
Oh, dear.
Now 32, that's right.
Hammond has 26. Klinger has 6, and he's on strike. Here's Helm, right arm over the wicket from the pavilion end. He bowls, and the right-hander plays defensively back up the track. And, Middlesex could do with a wicket here, because it's a very solid start from Gloucestershire.
Well, at this rate, they're going to get 60.
Yes, which is an excellent power play.
The thing about a good power play is it's a good solid foundation, isn't it?
It is. We had Abhishek Junjunwala, former IPL player, on Mike with us the other evening at Lord's, and he said, 50 off the power play, that's pretty much the aim. Make sure you get 50. But don't gamble too many wickets to get to it, though. But that's pretty much the standard, what you'd look for. As his Helm, he's in, bowls, and on the back foot, this is played away into the offside, fielded at cover by Owen Morgan.
Yeah, see, the thing about Klinger is, much as I love him, he's been a tremendous servant to Gloucestershire over the years, but he's 39, and he hasn't played first-class cricket in Australia. He retired in Australia, and he hasn't played, I don't think, since January, and when he gets going, he's great, but he's finding his timing a bit difficult early on. That's my summarization, is that the word?
Yes, it was excellent.
Yeah.
Here goes Helm. He's into the crease now. He bowls and driven hard. Out of reach of extra cover. It was a bump ball and over the head and to the right of Morgan, who threw up a right hand, see if he could get something close to it. He couldn't, and 4 more. Middlesex could do with a wicket here. It is now 36 without loss.
That was better from Klinger.
10 for Klinger.
Yeah.
What tune's that, Bob?
I Like a Boy, isn't it? I Like a Boy.
By
a girl. What is it?
I have no idea. But it's very...
down with the kids, isn't it?
It is, more so than usually you get at the cricket. Usually it's all Neil Diamond, isn't it?
Yeah, like Perry Como a bit.
Oh, yeah.
They should play Perry Como more and more, I think, yeah. Now, they moved the sweeper on the leg side boundary back to backward square leg, which I think is probably a better position for Klinger.
Here's Helm. He's in bowls, and on a length it's eased down to third man, but they'll think about 2, and it's just a single. As Roland Jones comes around to collect. They have come back for the second. Well run, throw to the non-striker's ends. Well, do you know, I was watching the fielder rather than the batsman, and I thought they're not going to get back for a second in that, and back they came quite comfortably.
Well, luckily they threw at the right end, because Klinger's not as fast as he used to be.
Good knowledge from Roland Jones. 38 without loss.
It's 36, according to the scoreboard.
Oh dear, they're in disagreement. The scoreboards. Yeah, I'm going to go with the 36 scoreboard then.
37.
Helm's in. Bowls! Oh, that's a beauty that goes past the edge. And through it is. 38 without loss it is.
38,
yes.
Okay.
Now, look, there you go. They've put it up now. 2 more for Klinger. He's on to 12. See, the big old fancy scoreboard over there. You have to trust the old reliable one over there, the little old one.
The old handles.
Sun's breaking through here at Radlett.
It is indeed.
Sunday afternoon in the T20 blasts.
I like a Sunday afternoon T20. It's how it should be. Really.
Yeah, it's certainly good for outgrounds. I mean, perhaps at Lords it'd be a bit of a waste, this game, but I can't imagine 28,000 packed in on a Sunday afternoon.
No, there's a good crowd here for that, I would think.
But yeah, it works for the outgrounds on a Sunday. Here's Helm, he's in, bowls, and down the track comes Klinger, gets a thick edge which flies down towards that big scoreboard for 4. And third man wasn't getting around to that one, so 42 for no wicket. Hammond's on to 16.
Well, Klinger, I think he was a bit, he took advantage of that. He went down the track and he realised if he got anything on it, he was going to go for 4. So that wasn't a bad shot from Klinger.
That's a bit more my era, that music.
What was that then?
I can't tell you what it is, I've forgotten. Loved that song though. Well, it's about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer now actually. Back when I was down with the kids. I'm past that now though.
Yeah.
Big 4-0 last year, Bob.
You were 40.
Yeah.
You don't look it.
Well, thanks.
No.
50.
It's Stephen Finn coming on to bowl, isn't it? From the...
It is. From the Salters Field end.
The Salters Field end.
Yeah. And do you know why it's called that?
It belongs to someone called Salter.
Yes, quite right.
Didn't take much to work out, did it?
Oh, look, David Fulton knew that it was...
It's Roland Jones. Sorry, it's not Stephen Finn.
Ah.
Roland Jones coming in from the field owned by Salters, and he bowls to Hammond and Driven, and that's a good bit of fielding out there by Morgan, I think that is. Good diving
Eskenazi,
stop.
but close.
Sorry. Well, I can't read the numbers from here, actually. I've got my glasses, actually. Well, I can't read by that.
You say the fielding position, I'll say the names.
All right, well, I do know some of them. I can see this is... I know Finn is... It's very tall. He's up there at mid-off. No, he's at extra cover, isn't he? Extra cover he is. He's extra cover. He's at extra cover, isn't he?
No, he's at mid-off. You were right first time.
Yeah, mid-on. That's right. He's very tall. He's Roland Jones bowls. And that's a lovely shot from Hammond. That's going to go straight over the boundary for... No, I think it plugs. It plugs, and they stopped it. That's good work, actually, out there. It did plug, and the throw comes in. It went for 2. Now, Hammond thought it was going to go for 6, but it... Yeah, it's obviously a bit sticky out there, so it does plug.
It's going to be a sad day for radio when you retire, Bob, I'll tell you. It really is. Great day for cricket, but a sad day for radio.
I know what I'm doing now. I've got the hang of this game.
Derek in Hurstpierpoint Point says, afternoon, lads, you have more banter than Abbott and Costello. I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
Well, probably not. Oh, he goes for a swish the miss, did Hammond on that occasion. That was what Hammond's probably been told to do, you see. He gets a decent power play under his belt. He's on 28, and he's probably been told by Klinger, right, OK, you've got a good start. Go for your shots. We've got plenty of batting to come. It'll probably be Bracey coming in next, the right-hander, followed by Ian Cobain, and then Jack Taylor or Ryan Higgins in that particular order.
He says Middlesex under the pump bowling first. They are at the moment, aren't they? They can do with the wicket.
They could do.
Thanks for the tweet, Derek.
44 without loss. Roland Jones bowls to... And that's a lovely shot. That's going to go for 4, I think. You can't. No, it's reined in down in front of the scoreboard down there. I can just see the torso of that fielder down there who went to pick it up. It is a very big slope here, isn't it, actually?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a mound in the middle, isn't it? The squares are mounds.
Yeah, it's all right, though, isn't it? It's good ground.
Yeah. It is, yeah. It's I think this could be very entertaining, and by the looks of it, it could be very high scoring today.
Good. Why is there a double-decker bus at the other
That's
end?
the pizza bus, and you can sit on the top deck of the bus and watch the cricket while having your pizza. Isn't that good?
Well, that's defended by Hammond. Well, it is. You can't see it. I mean, you can't see the top.
Apparently, you can. Remember, that's on a mound. We're a bit lower than the mound. So
there's an advert saying food in front of it.
Well, that's true. I think it probably goes in between the view from the bus in between. Although it's fair to say there's nobody sat on the top deck of the bus watching the cricket.
Of course there isn't. Well, we can just come and watch it in the ground.
I thought it was quite nice. Maybe we could set up the point up there and we could have pizza and sit on the top of the bus and commentate, Bob.
It could be a long ISDN line for that. Here's Roland Jones again. Bowls to Hammond, and Hammond helps himself to... No, that was a single. I think Klinger... That's a better over, actually, from Roland Jones. I've got to say, 46 after 5 overs. Is that Julian Clark? 46 after 5. So, they've reined him in to some degree, haven't they? So, it is... Well, they'll probably get 53, 54, something like that. Klinger's on 16. Hammond has gone berserk. He's on 30.
It's excellent. The funny thing is, it doesn't feel like it. No, it does feel like it, but you know, because it's not that 28,000 at Lords, all the oohs and ahs for big shots. Well, it is. Yeah, it's nice. It's a more intimate look at 2020, isn't it? But it's quite low key for all the 4s and 6s.
I don't think they've got the music right, because I know there are some children around here, but mostly.
Yeah, I don't know if Sweet Caroline's going to go down too well at Radlett, though, is it?
Well, Sweet Caroline's good.
It is good. Maybe they'll get it out later. We'll see. It's a bit early to be on. 10 to 3.
Yeah.
Here's Finn. Right arm over the wicket from the pavilion end. He bowls, and this ball's played away into the offside by Klinger for a dot ball. He is on 16 from 13. And 46 without loss in the final over of the power play.
The thing about Stephen Finn is he does drop it in short, but if he does it's easy there for the cut, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And I have seen him drop it short before. Many times. At Cheltenham, I remember he had a terrible first over last year.
Finn hits the crease, bowls, and this ball's cut away hard as far as cover. There wasn't much room. He was trying to give himself room, Klinger, on that, wasn't he?
Good shot, but
fielded by Scott.
Yeah.
Well, second 11 T20s here, roughly 180.
Yeah, I think. Well, at this rate, I think they'll get about 180.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes that blinking trumpet. No one responds to that at all.
Well, that's why I'm thinking Neil Diamond at the moment might go a little bit.
Yeah, Neil Diamond's good, I think. Yeah. A bit of Dvorak or something.
Finn bowls and short down the leg side, stepping across Klinger, probably over the top of middle and leg. That one.
That was a good ball from Finn. He dug it in
sharp, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Klinger's quite happy to stay there because he knows that if a bad ball comes, he's good enough to pole it away. There's a train. There
you go. There. See, I told you, outside the ground there, off into London.
Yeah. But it's busy tomorrow morning, isn't it? Monday morning.
Yeah. Well, they played a championship game here earlier this season. I tell you what, getting across London to get to Radlett for the 11 o'clock start. So here's Finn, he's in, bowls, and this is mistimed, attempted hit back over the top from Klinger. It trickles back along the floor to Finn.
I think Klinger's trying a little bit too hard, actually, in this over.
Is that 4 or 5 balls?
He's had 4 balls. It's been 4 dot balls. No runs, says Julian Clark alongside us.
Good from Finn.
Very good from Finn.
What does he do? Go block hole? He knows that Klinger's under pressure now to find runs.
Well, he is, and I think now they push the fielder back. I think they'll give Klinger a single.
Well, they've got deep square back and third man, so it's the standard field for hitting the top of off, but does he go for the bluff and hit it in the block hole? No, he goes short and through to the keeper. Swing and a miss from Klinger, looking to pull. So 1 ball left to the power play, 1 ball left to the 6th over, which Finn has bowled so far a maiden.
He has done a maiden in 2020.
I know.
I haven't seen a maiden in 2020 this season at all.
Yeah, slow ball bounce. That one was from Finn. There was a wicket maiden, wasn't there, when Ricky Clark played out 5 dot balls and then hit the final ball of the over to extra cover in a Surrey game. I remember seeing that on television somewhere.
Well, he's getting frustrated. I think he might as well
Well, that's why I'd go block hole here if I were Finn, as he's in now, bowls, and it's another short one that thumps onto the body of Klinger, and they'll get a leg bite, so he'll get his maiden, but that's hurt Klinger, and he's dropped the bat as he's gone through, and he's been really hurt on the ribs by that one.
Yeah, he has been hurt. I mean,
as soon as he got past running in the bat, he just dropped the bat and then was ready to go down in a heap, and on runs David Bartlett, the former Middlesex physio.
He's a great character, David Bartlett.
He likes you as well.
He lives in Datchworth.
He used to. That was his cricket club, you and him.
Yeah, I played against Datchworth. Got 100 against them, you see.
He probably bowled at you as a kid, didn't he? He didn't even know. Look at the two of you now.
35 years ago. He's not 35. Now, Klinger's getting attention. I don't know. I think they probably hit him right in the middle of his chest, actually.
Yeah.
But he's going to be all right. He's a tough Aussie. But unless he can't move his arm...
Yeah, good from Finn. I mean, like I say, I'd have gone block hole and said go on swing at that then, because it'd be a wicket maiden if you miss. But it was a sharp bouncer rising into the ribs or somewhere around that area. And,
I think it was in the middle of his chest.
Winded him. Yeah,
he's all right. He's fine.
Nasty. Peter Mead says, hello Kev, I'm watching your game on a tablet. As there's no commentary on that feed, I'm listening on my phone.
There should be a commentary show.
There should be, the commentary link.
Have you turned it up?
Anyway, is that what you got to do?
The power play is over, 47. That was a disappointing over. Klinger knows that.
Oh, sorry.
The one run off it.
There was no signal, so it was a run. Well, it deflected onto his chest then from glove or bat.
There was no signal.
It's Roland Jones coming again, is it?
It deflected onto his chest
from Salters Field End.
Salters Field End, bowls to Klinger, and Klinger turns it away for an easy single down to square leg, back to square leg. Klinger's probably glad to get off strike, actually. He's still probably got winded. I mean, that ball was probably bowled at 85 miles an hour. He's straight in the chest. Student card. He's discomforted completely, is Michael Klinger out there.
Yes, Peter Mead, who said that men can't multitask?
Yes, Peter Mead says, who says that men can't multitask? He's also watching England rugby on the television, as well as having the tablet running one and the...
Well, Wales are going to win that one. If Wales win that, they're the #1 team in the world.
Ooh.
Did you not know that?
I did not know that.
That's true. If they beat England today. Roland Jones bowls to Hammond. Now, Hammond's been a bit calm lately, and he waits and helps himself to single as it goes out to the fielder on the cover boundary. Now, of course, the fielding regulations have been relaxed after the power play. There's 5 fielders allowed outside the circle. And it's a question of how you pick your place to hit. Now, straight is obviously an easy option because mid-off and mid-on are in.
It does, yeah.
And third man down here, you do need a third man, I think, for...
Yeah, to protect us, yes.
Yes, to protect us. That's the whole reason they're there.
Yeah, exactly. He's a good man, Milan, I told you.
Roland Jones bowls to Klinger, and Klinger ramps it. That's a clever shot from Klinger. That's a brilliant shot from Klinger. It's going to go down for 2 runs. Now, Klinger thought about that.
But it was the manufacturing of the shot that was brilliant, because it was obviously in his mind, but then he found himself in an awkward position, but still managed to ramp it up and have that control.
Well, it was good. I mean, he thought about it. He realised what he was going to do. And now he's taken a bit more time to recover himself.
Peter Mead on Twitter, your only disturbance today will be the odd train and light aircraft. Yesterday, I umpired a league game on a ground in the middle of Ascot Racecourse during a race meeting.
On the pad, and it goes for a leg by.
It was deafening.
And that real danger gets hit on the pad, and it goes for a leg by. Now that I've been mentioned by Derek Revel, Kevin Ham, Bob Hutchwell, afternoon lads, you have more bands than Aberconstello, Middlesex Underpump. Oh, you've already read that one, haven't you?
Well done, Bob.
Oh yeah. Right, we've got bad news. We're with us at the interval as well.
Yeah, I know. We're lining up the guests, aren't we, during the interval? That's all right. We'll manage the sandwiches somehow during the interval.
Yeah, I know. We're lining up the guests.
Roland Jones comes again to bowl to Klingers on 20.
We'll manage the sandwiches
somehow. All right, the old boy at the moment as he bowls. Roland Jones and he's bowled him. Middle stump's gone, and I just think that Klinger was really, it must have been a concentration after that. After that hit on the chest, and the poor old chap, he's gone for 20. That's not a bad score. really from winning the T20 competition, but I just think he was not really concentrating. He must have hurt his chest.
That's a bit more like it from the music, though, isn't it? A bit of the Stones.
I just think he was not really concentrating.
Bit of Mick Jagger. Yeah, that's what we can do in the interval. We can just turn the effects mic up and let Dave Paulson take everybody through the interval while we munch on the Jagger.
Now, the Ian Cobain has come out. This is an unusual because it has been Bracey coming at number 3 for Gloucestershire. Yeah. Now, Klinger's looking woeful as he comes back, but he's also sure that must have really hurt his chest. Now, Klinger's looking woeful. You can't concentrate the pain seriously, can you, Kevin?
No, you can't.
No, you can't at all.
Paul Deacon. Deacon. Paul O'Connor, indeed. There you go. Got that wrong, didn't I? Completely unable to find the commentary on the website. Wholly reliant on tweets from commentators. Now here, eyes down. Good to have you with us, Paul. And apologies for that. I've just checked to have a look now on the BBC Sport website, and they have finally got a live link up for the commentaries. But can be a little slow on that.
Roland Jones bowls to Cobain.
And they have finally got a live link up for the commentaries.
It's filled by Paul Sterling as a backward point.
The bane of Middlesex, Ian Cobain. He always scores well against Middlesex.
Well, you say that. I tell you what, whatever county you go to in the T20, they always say Ian Cobain always scores runs.
Yeah. But you can't say that, no.
Well, you can't. Hang on, mate. It's over early.
The scoreboard's probably just frozen on his figures. Peter Meads, if you're still listening on your phone, the tablet should be working with the commentary, because it's working next to us here.
The tablet should
be working. Klinger's still batting according to the scoreboard.
Well, there you go. Now you know why the over finished early. Here comes Finn, the 8th over of the Gloucestershire innings, having won the toss. This ball's driven away wide of mid-on for a single by Klinger. He moves to 21.
No, Klinger's out.
Sorry. Yes. I've looked at the scoreboard, haven't I? Come on, scoreboard, get working. That'll throw me every time I look up at it this afternoon otherwise. So 54 for 1? 54 for 1.
Julian's always right here.
Yes. And it is to my left as well. But that old scoreboard over there is Reliant. The other one is a little bit... It's on its way out, shall we say, Bob? That other one, the new one.
Right.
No, the new one is.
The new
one's the one that's struggling, isn't it? The old one's great.
The old one's fantastic. Yeah. I love the old one very much.
Finn to bowl, and this is run away down to third man for a single. And
come on, what's wrong with the scoreboard? It's frozen.
Cobain is off the mark, so 55 for 1.
Klinger will be forever batting then.
Yes.
20. He's on 20.
He'll take
forever
that.
And ever.
Too well for it. Great average, wasn't he?
It was a good ball that got him out, actually. Straight. Middle stump.
Middle stump out of the ground. That feels good for a bowler, doesn't it? As Finn moves in, he bowls, and this is hit up in the air and just out of reach of helmet mid-on. Mistimed by Hammond, and...
well played. Good fielding out there. Tandemic fielding. Two fielders together.
What have they run?
They ran
3. Yeah,
well, the Bain's facing again.
So Hammond didn't quite time it, did he? He's on to 35, 58 for 1. They've just stalled a little bit since that Finn over that went for just 1 run, the last of the power play. Up to the start of the 6th, they were doing well, but Finn is really bowling very well at the moment for Middlesex. He's in, bowls and beats the edge. Or has he? No, he's taken the edge. 58 for 2. And that is the end of Cobain. Just one today.
Runs against Middlesex.
No, not today.
No, he never
Finn's on fire at the moment for Middlesex.
Well, yes, he is. But, I mean, what is this?
I don't know. Some sort of conga, isn't it? It's a bit of a bizarre one, isn't it?
It's a strange one. Anyway,
it's a bit hypnotic, isn't it?
Cobain, you can have one bat.
Tribal.
You can have one batsman failing in the T20.
A bit like Bob, tribal. Come on, the Gloucester.
Come on, the Sharp. James Bracey. Now, Bracey, as you well know, Kevin, is a real talent. But he's maturing into the T20, but he's a very good championship batsman. He loves to bat. Yeah. He lives to bat, in fact. But now he's at the You've got a left-hand, right-handed combination, which is what they always like to have. But Bracey's a good batsman, isn't he? Bracey's left-handed. They're both left-handed now. Of course they are. Silly me.
It's because you didn't have that pizza before the start. You need the sandwiches at the interval, don't you?
I'm waiting a bit, actually. You know, I had a massive breakfast. I had a fabulous breakfast. 8 courses.
8 courses.
I started with a big bowl of porridge.
Yes.
Handmade. I got a fry.
Handmade as opposed to...
Fry up. Good fry it was.
And then, go on, what was next?
And then I had a fry up.
Then you had a fry, and then what was next?
Bit of yoghurt.
Yeah.
Bit of toast.
Yeah.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Marvellous.
Fruit.
Bit of fruit, yeah.
Honestly, did you have fruit, Bob?
No, I didn't have fruit. Actually, I did have a bit of fruit in the porridge, actually. There was a couple of blackberries in the porridge. There was some blackberries, well and truly.
Blackberry jam doesn't count as fruit in your porridge this morning, Bob.
Blackberries in the porridge, definitely. It's Finn.
Here's Finn, he's right arm over the wicket. Bowls, and this ball's pushed defensively into the offside for a quick single for Bracey to get off the mark, and 59 for 2 the score. Did you finish with a pain au croissant? Or
no, I didn't have
any bread.
I only had a slight bit of toast. Because, you know, bread's not very good for you.
It's not, Bob. Yeah. You've lost a little bit of weight, haven't you, Bob?
Well, I put some on. I tell you, I have lost some. Yes, thank you very much for noticing.
Or is it just the black jumper having a slimming effect?
That is part of the effect, certainly. Got to be very careful.
Finn. He's pink top for Middlesex. He's in bowls, and this ball's pushed away into the offside. In fact, it's the bottom edge, which deflects towards a slip position, I'm going to guess, and Simpson charges up to collect. They have a run, and 60 for 2 it is. As on to 36 now. That's the end of the 8th over. So Hammond's on to 36. Bracey has 1. You're listening to BBC Radio London, BBC Bristol.
Yeah, betcha.
Oh, who's this? It is. There you go. I can't see this getting a big response at this time. Oh, Fultz. Oh, look, Fultz is on the big screen with Sweet Caroline.
No one is singing, no one is waving. The members away to our right are completely dumbfounded. Who is this person?
Oh, everybody knows who Dave Fulton is. No, he didn't mean you, Bob. He meant the crowd.
However, they went too early on this, I think.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. They're trying to cheat the crowd up, aren't they? It's not going just yet, is it?
No, it's not going.
It's going to struggle to it an outground, though, isn't it? It's just a bit of a different feel.
Yeah, you can't do it on an outground.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. But it's still got to go with the music, though.
Well, I'm looking to my right-hand side. I can't see anyone under the age of 70. Well, perhaps 60, but it's not the right place.
Well, they're keeping going with it. Go on, give up.
No, it's
Roland Jones.
Roland Jones coming into bowl to Hammond, who is on 36, goes down the pitch, and a bit of an ambitious shot, and gets himself a single out towards cover on the boundary. Brings Bracey down to Fagan. Bracey's on 1, Hammond's on 37. I think they need Bracey to stay there and get a big score, actually. No one's got a big score for Gloucestershire in the whole T20, have they? No, they've got 40s and 150, I think. It's the sum of its parts, Gloucestershire's batting, I think, at the moment. Hammond got a 50, I think. However, as I say, it's the sum of its parts. You know, people come in a bit, 20s, 30s. But you need a big score. It's Bracey facing, though, the left-hander. And Roland Jones comes into bowl with him. He stutters on the start of his run-up, and he bowls it now, and he's turned away just for a single. Think about coming back for 2, but that would be a foolish decision to make, and indeed they don't do it. Good throw comes in over the top of the stumps, exactly where Simpson wants it.
I mean, the scoreboard is changing, the time is accurate. It's just the score which doesn't seem to be accurate. So
what's wrong?
the score.
You can't stop to listen to the in-house communications at Middlesex. This is top secret information, Bob.
He said the time is right. Roland Jones bowls to Hammond again. That's pulled away. A good shot, and actually controlled it nicely, did Hammond. He moves on to 38. The score 63 for 2. This time is right. The runs are wrong. We'll have the time up, shall we? Let's have the time up, see what's going on. Oh dear, I love an outground.
I think you should only be allowed to commentate outgrounds wherever the cricket is at an outground that week. You should follow by outgrounds, not by county.
Outgrounds are bizarre. Something always goes wrong. Roland Jones bowls, and that's played nicely down to backward point, fielded by Paul Sterling. There's no run. I still showed a pink on that scoreboard now, isn't it? It says Middlesex cricket. However, the trusty old one always works.
It does, yeah. Derek in Hurstfield Point again says, given up trying to watch Middlesex on the stream and Newcastle Arsenal on the TV at the same time. You won, Kev. We've got Derek with us.
Well played.
Well done, Derek. And Alex as well. Good afternoon to you on Twitter. I'll come to speak in a moment.
Good afternoon, Alex. Is that a boy or a girl, Alex?
Is it what?
A boy or a girl, Alex?
It's a boy, Alex.
Well played. Is Roland Jones comes to bowl to Bracey, and that's hot. Though that's going to be 4 runs. I mean, I tell you what, that was a very good shot actually from Bracey. Got himself in the position very quickly.
He did top edge it though, Bob.
Well, no, but that doesn't matter about that. 9-20-20. Go into position.
Yes. Well, you play your shots, don't you? You ride your luck in T20. That's the game, isn't it? Exactly right. Alex says, been really encouraged by this Middlesex T20 campaign. Usually, I just settled for a win over Surrey and Essex, but there seems to be a bit more organisation and belief about the team. However, this is a massive match in terms of the group. It is indeed.
Veritable 6-pointer. That's bold, and that's turned away, and a spurious appeal, I've got to say. A leg by is added to the total, 68 for 2, and that's the end of the 9th over. So they have reined him in, I think, a lot. So
they have.
Yeah. I always say, and I suppose you do as well, Kevin,
yes.
And after 12 overs, you double the score.
12 overs, double the score. Yeah, you know, it just depends so much on the pitch as well, doesn't it, really? I mean, certainly, you're right. You know, back 8, you're looking at back 5. You're really looking to go big.
Yeah.
I mean, 50 in the power play, 50 in the last...
Yeah, 50 in the last 5 overs. Yeah.
If not more, indeed.
Bracey facing off that audacious pull for 4.
And it's fitting right time over the wicket to bowl to him. And this one strikes on the hip somewhere and they'll get a leg by. It drops into the offside off the hip. And the score ticks along to 69 for 2. So Bracey remains on 6, Hammond on strike on 38, Finn's third over, 1 for 8. He's really
Are you surprised they're bowling Finn 3 overs in the middle, though?
No, because he's bowling well as well. But they've been pretty consistent in their plans, Middlesex. Majib at the start of the innings really frees up the plans for the skipper and the coach and the analyst, indeed, who's alongside us. Here comes Finn. Bowls, and this ball's hit up in the air down towards us and over Darwin Milan at mid-off. He gives chase towards the gate, which leads back up to the pavilion, away to our right-hand side, but 4 it is, and 73 for 2. Hammond moves to 42.
Well, that was a good shot, Hammond.
Yep.
They've got mid-on and mid-up in sort of orthodox positions, haven't they? I think they've got to push Milan himself, push himself back, but no, he's staying where he is.
So let's have a look. It's
3 on the leg side.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a bowl length, isn't he? He's not going to have anything full with mid-off and mid-on up as he comes in. Bowls, and that one goes full again and goes over deep mid-wicket, does it? No, he's picked out the man at deep square. Hammond's gone for 42 and Gloucestershire are 73 for 3 in the 10th.
Well, that's typical Hammond. He's very good at the beginning. But now, they haven't got Benny Howell of Gloucestershire. You've got to remember that. Now, it'll probably be Higgins coming out next, I would suggest, or Taylor. No, it is Ryan Higgins. Now, Higgins, of course, ex-erstwhile Middlesex player, of course, loves playing against his old county.
They could do with getting him early.
Yeah, no, he'd be determined.
That's what we could do with getting him early.
Yeah.
Morgan off the ball. To catch at deep square, yeah, it was a full ball onto leg stump, and right shot just didn't get enough of it, really.
Well, as you say, another 6 foot had been all right.
Yeah.
So I think they don't want to lose any more wickets, do they, Julian Clark? They don't want to lose any more wickets early on, do they? Because they haven't got Benny Howell. I'm slightly surprised they didn't play Chris Dent, who is here actually as 12th man, but the Graham Van Buren will probably come in at 8. And they got AJ Ty, of course. AJ Ty, he can hit the ball a long way. Long way he can hit the ball. Now Higgins is on. That was the 3rd ball of Finn's 3rd over. 2 for 12. He's done well.
He's in now. Past the umpire bowls, and this ball's worked into the onside by Bracey for a single. He moves to 7 from 7. Higgins on to strike for the first time. So 2 fresh batsmen in the middle. We'll have a couple of overs to try and get it together and then get going. 74 for 3. And
you're right, they did cross, didn't they?
Yes.
I never noticed that.
Oh, sorry. See. Sorry, I wasn't listening to you, Bob. I was reading. I was editing the tweets to read. Here goes Finn. It's his third over. 2 for 13. He's got 2 balls left of this over. He's in bowls, and that climbs a little bit on Higgins. Now Finn bowled beautifully here in the Glamorgan game in the championship, and picked up a 5 if memory serves. And yeah, he looked. That was the game where he really looked on top form, Finn. And he's having fun again here at Radlett, where the bounce in that Glamorgan was a little up and down, which obviously suited the style of bowling of Stephen Finn. Here he comes, last ball of his third, last ball of the 10th. He bowls and Higgins drives hard out into the offside, but deep cover will collect, and Higgins off the mark, second ball, and Bracey has 7. Higgins will keep the strike. That's the halfway stage in the Gloucestershire innings, having won the toss. They're 75 for 3 here on BBC Bristol and BBC Radio London.
Well, as I say, 10 overs have gone halfway through. Double 75 is 150. I think they're going to get about 170, 175, something like that.
Yep.
Fast score. Unless Middlesex go berserk.
Random Female says Bob is the best outground commentator around. He should play this on his show reel for a job commentating on the 100. The ECB won't know what hit them. Agreed, Random Female.
Who is Random Female?
I don't know.
You don't know if she's random, is she?
She is.
Right, okay. You never met her?
No, randomly.
It's the spinner coming on.
Nathan Souter.
Nathan Souter. Adding a bit of
wrist spin. Yeah, a bit of wrist spin. He turns the googly bigger than his leg spinner.
Well, Higgins plays that back to the bowler, and Souter bends down, picks it up.
Leading wicket taker in the One Day Cup. Middlesex made the playoffs of that. Going nicely in the blast as well. He and Majib, the spinners for Middlesex.
Bowls again. Oh, that's gone for miles. That's gone to the railway line.
Yep.
Hits the tree over
one of the willows.
Everyone that was very bold. Well, I mean, that's good from Higgins because he waited. I mean, it's good first ball. He thinks, right, he's going to bowl something a bit short, goes back into his crease, bang!
Yeah.
And they can't find the ball.
Yeah. So this will be an interesting little passage now for Souter. Quicks will be pretty happy with the way they've gone today.
Well, Millman has gone to find another ball because that ball's gone out the ground.
No great surprise, really. It was a big old hit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
While we wait for the ball, Alex was talking about the makeup of the group at the moment. Coming into today's game, Sussex top, having beaten Middlesex on Friday with 14 points. Kent losing again yesterday, 3 defeats for them now, having gone on such a great run to start. So 9 played, 6 wins, 3 defeats, 12 points. Then comes Somerset in third, also played 9 with 10 points. Middlesex fourth, played 8 with 10 points. So big old game for them if they could win this one and tuck up into, well, they take second spot indeed on net run rate. Gloucestershire fifth, played 8, 9 points.
That's played into the cover boundary. They've got the cover and there's no run. So he's got his boundary, Higgins, in this. He's got 0-6-0. What's he going to do this time? Well, that's a short ball. It's going to go for. Surely they're going to go for a second. No, they content themselves just a single. Good throw comes in just over the stumps. Well played, Stephen Finn. He's a very good fielder as well, isn't he?
He is. He's excellent. Hampshire sixth with 7 points, so it's still pretty tight there. No, well, they still have to play Middlesex twice.
Well, you want them to win, don't you? If your Middlesex beat them twice, they're out of it.
Yes.
There you are then. That's what I'm saying. If we beat Hampshire on Tuesday, they're out of it. That's Bracey leans into that, helps himself to a single. They don't come back for 2 on the offside.
Tuesday. Where do you play them on Tuesday?
Bristol.
Televised game?
Televised.
I assume so if it's on Tuesday, yeah.
Could be televised. Is it televised? Televised it is. Oh dear.
There you go.
Oh, that's right. Western Storm will play in the afternoon as well. That's just a double header.
Be busy down there.
Bowls to Higgins, who plays that into the covers. They think about coming up for 2 this time. There is an easy 2 because Stephen Finn has to run around the boundary to pick it up. Ends the over 87 for 3, 85 for 3, 85 for 3. That's not bad.
Yep, pretty reasonable. Some of those scores elsewhere. Match abandoned at Chesley Street, Durham versus Nottinghamshire. Yeah, poor old...
concern us though, does it?
No, poor old Dave Bracegirdle made the trip up to see Martin Emerson for nothing.
Well, they have a lot of fun, don't they?
Well, they do. He gets that, I suppose. Birmingham 77-1 against Lancashire.
What about South Group?
10 overs. I come into that.
Sorry.
Worcestershire Northants delayed. Further inspection at 3:15. Glamorgan 64-4 against Surrey. After 11.3 overs, Ingram 21 not out, and one apiece for Curran, Clark, Tahir and Batty. And that's the only other South Group game today, isn't it? Yorkshire against Derbyshire. Derbyshire 25-1 after 3.2 overs. Still a full game. Here's Majid bowling to Bracey, worked away out to deep mid-wicket for a single. He moves to 9, and Gloucestershire 86 for 3.
We're doing all right. As I say, double it after 12. Double it after 12.
Yeah, which will be a decent score. It'll be a good score for the neutral, certainly, because neither side will have particularly feel they'll be able to win it easily, that one, as this ball's run away down to short third man for a single by Higgins. He moves to 11, 87 for 3. He won't have seen anything of Mujib, his first year with Middlesex for Mujib. So,
well, he
Higgins, who left 2 years back.
They know about him, don't they?
Well, they do, yeah. As he's around the wicket, bowls, and Bracey on the back foot punches out to deep mid-wicket where they'll think about 2 but settle on 1. 88 for 3. Bracey moves to 10. Higgins back on strike. Mujib has none for 25 off 2.3, and not like Mujib figures at all, those. He comes in now from the pavilion end, bowls, and this one's short and slapped away. Deep mid-wicket's got a chase, which he wins. Southside and holds them to 1. That's brilliant fielding by Southside. Excellent stuff from him again. 89 for 3 in the 12th, and Higgins on to 12 from 9. Bracey 10 from 10, and on strike the left-hander as Mujib around the wicket to him. Bowls short, and it hits the short fine leg. Throw to the non-striker's end, which is a big old overthrow backed up by Stephen Finn, but it doesn't result in an additional run. It was Roland Jones who didn't quite have his radar right there.
Poor throw. Luckily Finn was backing up.
Yep. 93, Higgins 12, back on strike. Mujib back over the wicket to him. Bowls, and this is work back to the bowler, a dot ball. So 90 for 3, Mujib none for 27 off 3 so far, and slightly better over for him. Bracey 11, Higgins 12. BBC Radio London, BBC Bristol together here at Radlets in
Hertfordshire. Why are they playing? I don't understand. Middlesex is Radlets in
it's the second 11 home, this one for Middlesex. Has been for a good number of years. Will become Barnet, of course, Bob. You'll be hankering to be the Middlesex commentator then, won't you, when Middlesex are playing in Barnet?
Well, where have they got this ground up? Is it where the old Saracens used to be, on the walk at Southgate? I've heard.
No, Barnet. It's right next to the rugby stadium.
There isn't a rugby stadium in Barnet. That's a lovely shot. It's a beautiful shot from Bracey, and it goes for 4 runs all the way. Now, that's a classic use of his feet by Bracey. Danced down the wicket and smote it over.
Go on then, being all snooty about Barnet. Tell us exactly in Barnet where the Saracens rugby stadium is. Barnet Copthall.
Yeah, the Saracens they play at Watford's ground, don't they?
No.
They play at Copthall now, do they?
Yeah.
Do they?
Oh, Bob.
I don't know anything about it, really. Well, I do, actually, because Saracens have played all over the place. If they play at Copthall, that's in Edgware, which is part of Barnet.
Did you miss that ball, Bob?
No,
he cut it for a single.
He went for
short third man.
He went for single.
And 1 run for Bracey.
Anyway, Bracey on 16. They're doing well, Gloucestershire. 95 for 3.
Were you a geography teacher as well, Bob?
I was actually head of geography at one time. That's going to be... Oh, that's a very nice shot. Is that a 6? Oh, blimey. Did that hit that man?
I think it went over him into the trees, didn't it?
Well, isn't it? I just saw a hat disappear and he hasn't got up.
Oh, dear. I'm pretty sure it went over them.
Well,
hopefully so.
Well, I think you've got to be careful these outground cemeteries, particularly because the ball can go anywhere.
They always keep it. Well, even at the major venues, especially the major venues where people watch less of the cricket, don't they?
Another
back's turned to it.
Higgins on 18 now, done that so well. It's over, and that's contents himself with an easy single to mid-on, who runs in from the boundary to field.
So,
there's some.
With your lack of knowledge of your hometown Barnet, you also reveal you were head of geography at one stage. Awesome.
I was head of geography at one time for a term.
How are those kids doing now?
Actually, they're doing very well, thank you. That's played out another single. They go for a scampering two. They've got to be careful. The throw comes in, and it's a poor throw. That was good awareness, I've got to say, from Bracey. He went for that second run.
They're all into their 40s, and they still haven't found their way out of the geography classroom.
I was a top-notch head of geography, just for a term, I was. That was good luck.
You were head of geography for a term? Were you sacked at the end of the first term?
No, I'll tell you what happened. That's pulled back. That's another lovely shot. It's going to be straight. That's another four. I think that's a great shot from Bracey. He loves that shot. He goes back into his crease and plays it very straight. That's a very expensive over. How many off that one, Julian Clark? 20 off the over. 108 for 3.
But we can tell you weren't a maths teacher, Bob.
I was a maths teacher.
Oh no. 18, not 20.
18.
Off that over. 108 for 3, yeah. And just getting to the point that Middlesex want another wicket just to keep them ticking.
Now, Saracen's Flat Copthall, that's where it is. So it's not, I mean, it's borough of Barnet, but Edgware's a long way from Barnet itself. Barnet's a big borough.
Closest train station is Barnet, isn't it? No good asking you. At a geography.
High Barnet is nowhere near Edgware. It's on a different northern line. Come on, you must know the ground.
It's been from the pavilion ends. He moves in. Right arm over and bowls, and this is hit up in the air. Deep mid-wicket is Nathan Souter, which usually means out, and it is. 108 for 4. Higgins goes for 19 from 13, and Middlesex needed that. 108 for 4, Gloucestershire in the 14.
Yeah, Higgins rather... He was going well, was Higgins, and he rather gave his wicket away then. It was a good short ball, and he got up in the air. It was obviously an easy catch for Souter. Now, Jack Taylor comes out now. Now, he's a funny bloke, isn't he, Jack Taylor? Because he's either brilliant or not good. It all depends. Now, these two really could change the game Gloucestershire's way. What's this song?
Oh, I don't know. Any takers? The Gloucestershire song, apparently.
Yellow. Yeah.
Oh, Yellow. Why are we playing the away team song? This will be their song for the 100 at the...
Why has Sterling gone off?
Maybe he needs a little call of nature.
Right, okay, well, Finn's bowling his last...
So who's come on is the good question, though, Bob. Let's have a look.
Well, Bracey's... Now, Bracey's... They cross.
I'm going to guess Gubbins is the 12th man out there somewhere. I can't see him, though. Sterling has gone off. So yeah, Gubbins at extra cover. Here's Finn, right arm over, bowls to Bracey on 22, and he works a single down to long leg. 109 for 4.
This, I would say, is a typical Gloucestershire batting performance. They've got starts, apart from Cobain. They've all gone to the teens or the early 20s, but they haven't gone on. But as I say, it is the sum of its parts, Gloucestershire. They all contribute a few. What are you texting now?
I can't disagree with any of that, random female. Bob is the best outground commentator there. I'm saying brilliant Bob is also a Barnet boy. Better watch my back at BBC London.
Barnet. Well, I'm a Barnet fan and a Forest Green Rovers fan. Barnet in the non-league. Good side.
Finn bowls, length balls pushed back up the track by Taylor.
You need dot balls at this stage, don't you, really?
Well... Not if you're batting.
Well, not if you're batting, obviously. It's a ridiculous thing to say. Ridiculous. Not if you're batting, obviously.
They're never good at any point in the T20 dot balls, are they?
There's nice trees around this ground, aren't there, really?
There are.
Yeah. What are they?
I don't know. Big and green things over there. It's Finn bowls. It's worked through square leg for a single by Taylor. He gets off the mark. Deep backward square coming around. Helm collects 110 for 4.
And they do need Taylor. They need these two together. I mean, AJ Ty will probably come in next. There may be Graham Van Buren. But AJ Ty can hit the ball a mighty long way. As you know, when he tied, Glamorgan tied with Ty batting. That was quite clever, wasn't it?
It's Finn setting off again.
Don't listen to a word I say, do you?
Who said that? He bowls, and this ball's worked away down to long leg for a single. Bracey's on 24, 111 for 4, the score here on BBC Radio London, BBC Bristol.
Yeah, I mean, that last over went for 18. That certainly put Gloucester in a good position. They got, how many overs to go after this? 6 after this. So, I still think they'll be on the 180 mark. Sterling done his wheelies now, but...
He's done his what, sorry? Do you know, on that occasion, I genuinely didn't hear what you said. As his Finn, he's in bowls, and it's short and hooked away out to deep square for a single, 112 for 4. Taylor moves to 2. The problem is I really didn't hear anything of what you said, but I'm now imagining what it could have been. Which is a lot worse.
Well bowled Steve Finn, I've got to say. Well bowled. 3 for 18. He's done ever so well.
Yep. Off the back of a 5 for at Lords the other evening.
No, he's done well. He's done well. If it isn't, it comes in 12th then.
It is. You didn't believe me, did you?
No, I did believe you at all. I'm absolutely fine. 112. Now 6
Roland
overs
Jones.
to go. Now I think this is going to be. Now Taylor has got to get going. Now look, they know where Taylor likes to hit the ball.
Yeah.
Over mid wicket. And they got everyone on the leg side boundary, so he can get a 2 if he takes the pace off the ball.
Jones bowling at the Salters field end. Roland Jones.
His last over, isn't it, Roland Jones?
Yeah, it's really stalled us. Such a good start, hasn't it, this, for Gloucestershire?
Yeah, he bowls now to Taylor and dabs it down to third man. And just contents himself with a single. Now Brace is on. Now what's the score? Was frozen again. It's 113 now. 113 now for 4. Yeah, the score was. It's 111. The score was useless, isn't it? You just chalk it.
Go with the old scoreboard, as I keep telling you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the old one's crazy.
Yeah. It's sponsored, that scoreboard. I can't remember who sponsors it, but it's sponsored by somebody. So Roland Jones comes into bowl to Bracey, and Bracey plays it to the square leg boundary. They think don't come back for 2. Don't come back for 2. No, Stephen Finn's a very good fielder. Throws it in just a single.
It's the Michael and Doreen Brown scoreboard, it says on the top there.
Okay, can you read that for me?
I can.
I can't read it at all. Glasses. I can read it now, yeah. The Michael.
Get a few brownies coming in with our tea in a little while.
Are we?
We get really well looked after here at Radley. You'll like that.
I know, I can't eat.
Well, we can take it in turn. You do the first 5 minutes and I'll do the seconds.
All right, then.
Don't tell him I won't come back for the second 5 minutes, Julian.
Okay. I'll talk. I'll do the scorecard with Julian Clark's scorecard. That's always classic. And that played nicely by Taylor for a single on the offside. Again, just 1 run, 3 runs in this over so far. Good over.
Go on, paint the picture. Why is it a classic? Because you can never read his writing?
No, I just love it. I mean, Matt,
you leave it to Julian's. You can't do that.
Here's the score.
Poor Julian.
Julian Clark.
Oh, I see.
Marvellous entertainment it is. Lovely. Melodic voice. What's that white van behind that?
That's operating that scoreboard, probably. Not very well.
Very well. Yeah. Sack 'em. Roland Jones bowls. Oh, that's a no ball, surely. Ooh. It is a no ball. Thank you very much indeed. That was a ridiculous ball. That was far too short, really, wasn't it? I like no balls in T20, but that was far too short. And it's not a free hit, is it, though, Junior? No, it isn't a free hit. I never know. Free hit is that overstepping the marks a free hit, isn't it? The analysts nods alongside me. They know what they're talking about, these boys, don't they? So it's just an extra ball, and Roland Jones bowls to Bracey again, and that's tucked away with ease for another single. They're just happy to go through this over. That's one on board. There's no point going berserk because Jack Taylor knows that there's not much to come. I mean, obviously they can all bat, but Taylor is the main man out there at the moment. 4 to him, 26 to Bracey, who's batted really well for Gloucestershire today, I think. Do you agree?
I do. I'm just also agreeing with Random Female. Bob on the 100 would be a match made in heaven. 5 balls and over, you'd be able to keep up with that, Bob, wouldn't you?
Just about, yeah. Roland Jones bowls again. Oh, what a swish and a mish from Jack Taylor. Very high bat lift he's got. And he went for that.
Well, look, I mean, it's looked a different pitch since the 6th over, hasn't it? When Finn went for just that 1 run for the last ball of the 6th.
Well, I think Roland Jones and Finn have bowled particularly well. I mean, this is his last ball, Roland Jones. He's 1 for 21. However, who's going to bowl the last one? Oh, well, I know he's got 2 to come, hasn't he, Majib? Helm's got 2 as well. Thank you, Julian Clark, as bowls. And that's played nicely by Jack Taylor. Just a single. 5 off the over. Not a very productive over from Gloucestershire. 119 for 4 and 5 overs to go. Is that right, Julian Clark?
Yeah, 50 off the last 5, 170 on the board. That would be more than competitive, you'd say.
I thought 180.
Yep.
5 overs, 10 and over. Well, no.
They've just got to be careful of the wickets column, haven't they? They start to hit out, but yeah, that power play where they racked up, 50 off their 6.
Well, they are missing Benny Howell.
So since then, 70 off the next 10.
See what they got?
A little light.
After
the start they had.
Can I put something in the mix here?
Please do.
Benny Howell is a very, very tight bowler, and they're going to miss him loads. I mean, he was bowled... Well, Julian said he bowled 4 overs and only singles was the maximum off it. No one's got a 2 or a 4.
South is in, bowls, and it's a low full toss, hit away. Out to a wide, long off. 4 it is. Beat the fielder at long off, just out of sight for us. Yeah, and put away. 123 for 4. There's the replay, so we can see the effort on the boundary rope. It was comfortably clear long off in the end, actually, wasn't it?
Well, there's a full chance. Should have been put away and was put away.
26 for Bracey. Taylor on strike on 9 from 8 deliveries. And Souter with that change of ends. Bowling from the pavilion end, bowls a quick one right up there. Forward defence from Taylor. And no run, long off and long on back, cover back, deep mid wicket and deep square. The other 2 on the boundary rope.
Well, Taylor thinks he's got his boundary first ball, so...
Souter bowls, and this ball's cut away in front of point. Deep cover will come around and prevent the boundary. They take 1. Taylor's on to 10. 1, 2, 4 for 4. Well, they want to be going at 10 and over from here, don't they? So yeah, I mean, boundary first ball puts the pressure on the bowler, doesn't it? But certainly at this stage, with 3 balls to go, they're looking for another boundary off this over.
Well, Bracey likes playing it straight.
Here's South at bowls, and this one goes big over a wide long on for 6. Huge shot, 130 for 4, and a big pick up by Bracey, who moves to 32 from 21. There's the 2 boundaries of the over, so with 2 balls to go of it, South are under a lot of pressure.
Well, I don't know what's happened to South. He's normally quite economical, isn't he? But I mean,
it's T20. I mean, look, Finn, didn't he go for 60 the match before he picked up the 5 for? Something like that. That was what he quoted to me in the interview after the 5 for. He said, I went for 60 the other day. This ball's short and hit away, out to deep mid wicket and gone. And that is T20 cricket for you, isn't it? From 0 to hero in no time for Souter. The other way for Bracey as he goes for 32. Caught at deep mid wicket by Scott. 130 for 5. And that's a very big time and a very big wicket to take as well for Middlesex.
It is a very important wicket. But again, he's got a 30. Now, he's probably cross about being out like that because they've got 4 overs to bat, and it's Graham Van Buren coming in, who's a good bat, but it'll be AJ Ty coming after Bracey.
I mean, maybe he felt he was on top of Souter in that over, but a shot too many, it's proved, and we were just saying that wickets column is what they've got to be careful of in this back 5.
New batsman is Graham.
Well, Graham Van Buren is a good bat. I mean, you know, he bats anywhere. He bats 1 to 8. He's got hundreds in the county championship. But I think he's going to act as a foil for Jack Taylor. What's this?
No idea.
Is it rap? Is it garage? Is it grunge?
Grunge, I'm going to go this. Ish.
Grunge. Yes, grunge, apparently. Souter bowls his last ball of the over, isn't it? Last ball of the over, do you know?
It is.
Yes, last ball to Graham Van Buren.
So the right-hander scratches out at his crease, checks the field.
Well, he's going to get a single, isn't he, to push it into the offside.
So it's Souter, and there is the single notice, and he's managed to stop it. Souter, low to his right, good stop, and he was just looking to work it back down the ground, wristily, Van Buren, but a dot ball, and a good end to the over for Souter, who's hit for a 4 and a 6, but then 5th ball, picked up the wicket, and at the end of Bracey for a very useful 32, but they really could have done with him with that, turning that into a 50. 130 for 5 it is after 16. Gloucestershire winning the toss and batting first here at Radley Ton. BBC Bristol and BBC Radio London.
Oh, Hey Jude, that's a drab.
You don't like it?
Well, I like the Beasles very much. Have you seen the film yesterday? That's a very good film.
No, is it good?
Very
looking forward to that one.
Yeah, very good film. Well, I think this is a drab song.
It's a crowd favourite at T20. It's just not made for an outground, really, is it?
It's not made for that.
You almost need a specialist outground hit list, playlist, don't you?
Yes, yeah. Lots of Perry Como and
I still don't know who Perry Como is. Are you making that up?
No, making it up. Helm bowls, and Taylor goes back into his crease and gets a rather streaky single as he plays it out to the mid-wicket boundary. No, Perry Como saying things like "catch a falling star and put it in your pocket," things like that.
Yeah, it sounds perfect. Stay, Bob.
Magic Moments, good song.
The old Quality Street ad.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Yeah. Helm Boss to Van Buren has got faced one ball and not going to run so far. He needs to be That's a lovely shot from Van Buren. He plays it to the cover boundary, and Jack Stephen Finn, as ever, who takes a break from signing autographs, which I know he's been doing throughout that. He was signing loads of autographs out there, which is good, I think. It's lovely to see they love it.
Jed Ladd on Twitter says, if he is to commentate on 100, do we think Bob will be able to find his way to big city grounds given his geographical challenges?
Well, look, my geography, nothing wrong with my geography. I can tell you.
You couldn't find your way here, could you?
Well, I vaguely knew where Radley was. I pointed the car in the right direction. Helm bowls to Taylor again, and plays it straight. And is that a lovely bit of fielding? Is it a 4? It's a 4, I've got to say. Is it? Yeah, it's gone for 4. Couldn't quite see the field at that far end, but it just went underneath him. Oh yeah, it's a bad bit of fielding actually. A little bump in front of him, and it goes for 4. Now Taylor's doing well here. He's on 15, but they need to keep Taylor there till the end of the innings, don't they? Do you think, Clark? Really?
Ideally.
Yeah, ideally. Yeah. He's on 15 at the moment. Is the old boy 136 for 5. I think this ground, if it sits up, it's there to be hit, really, isn't it? It does. As the big consultation at the far end. Where are they going to put the fifth fielder? Well, the onside is completely isolated. He's got 3 fielders on the boundary. As Helm comes in, 3 balls to go of his third over. Bowls to Taylor, and Taylor has a swing and a miss at that. He played that shot far too early. Well, Helm's a big chap, isn't he? And he's dug it in. No one responds to that at all, do they? Completely silent. Complete silence. No one knows what it is. No one knows what it is at all. Farcical. You're supposed to go, hooray! Lamely. 2 balls to go of Helm's over. This is a good one. He's Taylor's on 15. He needs to get runs here. And that's a lovely shot. Is that a 4 or a 6? I think it's a 1-bounce 4, actually, just over mid-wicket. That's where he likes to play his shots. I'm surprised they haven't got a fielder there.
Yeah, it's a nice pick-up, wasn't it? Well, again, it's just tough one, isn't it? I mean, the fielder isn't around a cow corner. He's more deep mid-wicket, isn't he, looking for the catch there. But nicely placed by Taylor.
Yeah.
Mark from Madrid says he's back from holiday in Greenland and Copenhagen. Had to flight from hell on the way back, though. Oh dear.
Greenland
and Copenhagen, yeah.
Right, Helm bowls again. I can't see what's going on because the fielder's in my way, but it goes out to the sweep on the leg side boundary, deep back square leg, just a single. Taylor does well. He keeps the strike. That's well batted. Taylor, he's on 20 now, and the score is 141 for 5. Is that right, Julian Clark? With 3 overs to go.
On the musical topic, Peter Mead says, with regards to Bob's choice of Perry Como, you know how old I am. Well, Perry Como was a singer my mother liked. How very 1950s. Says Peter Mead. There we go.
That's the target audience here, I think.
Well, that's true. I see what you're saying now. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I like this one. This is a good one. This was 80s, wasn't it? Can't remember who sung it, but it's a good song.
Don't remember much about the 80s.
Well, you don't remember much about the 80s, is that what you're telling us?
Oh, Finn's in my way now. I can't see what's going on.
It's Souser. Right arm over the wicket. He bowls to Taylor. It's short and pulled away into the air out to deep mid-wicket where Eskenazi fields on the bounce and Taylor's on 21. 142 for 5 here at Radlett. Gloucestershire winning the toss and now into the 18th over.
Well, I think they're going to get around about 170.
What have they got? Here's Souser bowls. He's driven away out to long off for a single, and Van Buren moves to 2 from 3, so they have got 2.4 overs remaining, and well, they'll be looking for 30 off it.
Well, Taylor, Taylor looking to put it over mid-wicket.
He's on strike on 21 from 16. Souser bowls to him. It's right up there, and Must have been an inside edge onto the pad, was it? So he looked to go for an upside. No, nothing on it, just leg by. And must have been drifting a long way down the leg side then, because Sasa pretty much appeals for everything, doesn't he? 144 for 5. He's in again. Bowls, and on the back foot, that's punched away into the offside for a single. 145 for 4. Van Buren's onto 3. Taylor back onto strike with 2 to go of Sousa's final over. 1 for 42 from him.
Yeah, he's been a bit expensive, hasn't he? But
a little bit. On occasion, he's dropped short here at short boundaries like this for the batsman. They've fancied themselves to go big, as this one is an attempted heave down towards us from Taylor, but out of the block hole it squirts away off bats to the short third man. That must have been inside edge onto boot, the way that it looped away.
Better over this. One more ball to come of it.
South up. Bowls it, down the track comes, Van Buren doesn't get it away again, just a single out to deep square, and 147 for 5, 6 off the over, I think.
Yeah, good
over.
All
singles, weren't they?
Good over, very good over that.
So 1 for 44 from his 4, Sousa. He'll be disappointed not to have got one more in the wicket column to make the 44 look a bit better for him, but overall a decent day's work from the leg spinner, not one of his better ones, but be reasonably happy enough. 147 for 5 then.
2 overs to bowl, haven't they? And who's going to bowl it? Well, Helm is coming in from that name of the person over. Was it who owns that field?
Salter. Salter's field.
Salter's field. What end are we on now then?
Pavilion.
Oh right. Must have taken ages to think of that name. Helm comes in and bowls to Van Buren, and Van Buren clips it straight back, and it's straight to the fielder at mid-on.
There's some clamour I hear for it to be renamed the Bob Hunt commentary 10 end.
No, I just like the Pavilion end. We can't better than that.
Your old club was north of here, is that am I right in saying? Or south of here, was it?
What? North Nibley?
No, your old club, the one you played with.
Rover Reporters. They played in Barnet.
No, the one that you played with the Gloucestershire physio, ex-Middlesex physio.
Datchworth. North of here.
North of here.
Yeah, well, that was ages ago. That was my first 100. Only 100 as well. As Helm comes in and bowls to Taylor, they have a big bat lift, and as it go, and again, he misses that. Well, Helm's always going to bowl it in short, and Taylor's always going to be seduced by that, isn't he? I just think Taylor should... Is that another train? It's a very nice train, isn't it? It's a Virgin, probably. They're going straight into Euston.
Quite possibly.
Yeah. I got a train yesterday all the way to Walsall. I went and back.
Nice train.
It was a strange train. It stopped at every station. I tell you how much it cost. I'll tell you, you'll be amazed by this. It cost me £4.50 from Euston to Walsall.
How long ago did you book it?
I'll tell you in a minute. Helm again bowls. And that's going to go straight down the throat of that fielder. That's a bad shot from Taylor, and that is a terrible shot from Taylor. I mean, he didn't go through it, did he? He sort of almost played it laconically.
Well, I feel they've been playing catch-up since that 6th over.
Yeah.
Finn had that... only just the one run off the final over of the power play, and since then it just feels like Gloucester have been playing catch-up the whole way, and that was why I thought, in terms of their projection for these last 5 overs, that was why the wicket column I thought was the most dangerous, because it's 6 down now.
Yeah, it is, and they got AJ Tyrrell come out now, and he's hit and miss, but I think that was a bit irresponsible from Jack Taylor, because he knew he was the best batsman out there, and he just sort of played it straight to the hands of the fielder.
Well, since those first 5 overs, the big hits have felt, pretty chancy and pretty risky and desperate, and coming to this latter stage now, they're hitting out and picking out those fielders. Well, 148 for 6. It may well be enough, Bob. It might prove that those.
No.
It may well prove that those first 5 overs were pretty prolific.
I think they need 160 at least. And how many balls is this over to go, Julian Clark? 2, 3. There's 9 balls to go, so I think they'd get...
I mean, look, 160 on the board, it might be enough.
Well, it might not be enough either.
The crucial thing will be, is the 5 over beginning particularly good, or the subsequent 15 overs particularly bad? That's what we'll find out in the Middlesex innings.
Well, Van Buren, they crossed, and Van Buren is now facing, as Helm comes and bowls to him, and that's gone for shot 6. That's a 6. Well played, Van Buren. He's a very small man, and, well, again, a straight 6 into the side screen. Favoured shot. Now, that isn't a very good start.
Random females back.
Yes.
Says, my father liked Perry Como, and he, my father that is, did national service.
Oh, blimey. That's a long time ago.
And Derek Ravel, our octogenarian listener, says, your mother has good taste, Peter. There we go.
It's Perry Como Club. Helm bowls to Van Buren again. And that's going to go down, and that's gone for 4. Now, I couldn't see what happened to that shot because the fielder's in the way.
He was looking for the uppercut, a little edgily, down to find third man for 4.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good shot, actually. I can see on the screen now.
Not sure he meant it quite as fine as that. But intention was there.
Well, he couldn't get it, could he? I mean, it was a bold shot. 158 now. I still think, well, let's go for 170. Let's go for 170. 7 balls to go. 172 is going to be, I think. Van Buren, a quick 15 for him off only 8 balls as he faces the last ball of this over, and he waits, and that's another 6. Well, that was I've got to say, that's a lovely shot. Another straight 6. It went in exactly the same place as the 2 balls before.
Yeah, batter in the scoreboard.
Helm was just sort of, well, he bowled it too short, and Graham Van Buren went back into his crease, real heavy back, straight over the boundary for 6, 164, 1 over to go. Last over's carnage. Carnage last over.
4 for 6 with 1 over remaining. I'd like to remind everyone of the ground regulation. Spectators must not come onto the playing area.
Oh, there you go.
Interval.
We mustn't go on. Exciting news. Pinky and helpers, we're dishing out free stuff in the interval. There we go. That gives us something to commentate on.
What are they going to do? What's free stuff?
Dishing out free stuff. Well, we get free grub, so we'll be all right, Bob.
Sweeties?
No, probably T-shirts.
All right. Okay, another T-shirt. Wouldn't mind a T-shirt.
What size?
Extra large. Extra large.
And after the sandwiches?
Extra.
Majib with the final over. He's right arm over the wicket from the pavilion end, and that is edged up in the air and taken at short third man. That's the end of tie. First ball duck for him. 164 for 7.
First ball tie.
Now they won't have crossed there either, will they? Despite Van Buren. Oh, you reckon? Yep, apparently so. Good running by Van Buren. He really set off there.
He's a grand cricketer. I like
that. Former Middlesex man.
Yeah, and Sussex and Surrey.
Yeah, we try not to mention that. He's a nice bloke otherwise.
He's a very nice bloke, actually. Yeah,
very popular cricketer.
Yeah. Raised lots of money for his foundation a couple of Sundays ago. Sussex, for that charity, the poor old chap.
Yeah, he's had a tough time of it, hasn't he? And everybody has really wished him well. I saw a wonderful video from the PCA Trusts with him a week or so ago, and such a tragic story with the loss of his wife. But he talks about the support that cricket has given him and been able to helped him to be able to continue his career at such difficult times. He's on strikers. Here's Majib in bowls. He drives this one into the offside, extra cover, picks up a single. My apologies, it's Van Buren on to 22, so Smith on strike now. 165 for 7.
Yeah, they raised a lot of money for that. The Rainbow Trust did it. Smith, a right-handed bat, left-handed bowler.
This ball is an attempted sweep from Smith. Now, what did he get onto that? A little bottom edge onto the pad, which trickles the other side of the keeper, and they have a run. So Smith off the mark, 166 for 7.
Good batting, and he's Van Buren down that end.
3 balls to go. Mujibur Rahman, he's in, and he's got a stumping. Down the track came Van Buren, missed it, and Simpson whips off the bails. 166 for 8. And 2 balls to go. I mean, look, the one thing you'd say for the Gloucestershire innings is they've gone deep with the batting, haven't they? So they certainly haven't, they haven't left any runs out there.
Actually, David Payne can bat as well.
Oh, a bit of Bowie. Now, that's a bit more likely, isn't it? That's a nice Sunday afternoon suiting this crowd. Everybody will just give a little nod to that one, won't they?
I don't know this song.
Oh, it was just coming to the chorus there, wasn't it? I'm trying to remember the name of it now. They've false interrupted it.
Well, again, Van Buren, another 22, you see, so it's a funny innings, this, isn't it?
Look, I mean, we'll see when Middlesex are batted, but at the moment it looks like they did very well in the first 5 minutes. Haven't backed it up. It's been a real contrast the next 15 overs after that first 5.
2 balls to come.
Here's Majib, right arm over the wicket. He bowls to Payne down the track, digs out a Yorker. It's back to Majib, and there's no run.
Well, that's a good ball. I mean, that's exactly the sort of ball you've got to bowl to.
How many off this over so far, Julian?
2. 2 is good last over. Well, Payne and I go down the
tremendous, really, isn't it? as Majib comes in. Will he drop this on shorter? No, it's right up there and driven away out to deep cover where they'll come back for the second. Throw comes in to the non-striker's end and they've made it for 2. 168 for 8 Gloucestershire as Payne gets off the mark with a couple off his second ball. Tom Smith's left on 1 from 1. Majib ends up with 2 for 31 from 4, so 7.8. An expensive economy, which sounds amazing to say for Majib today. Helm on 48 from 4. With that other over are off-charged Eskenazi and Sterling there, the numbers 2 and 3, and there's the number 1, the skipper Darvin Malam, making his way off to open the batting in just under 10 minutes time here on BBC Bristol and BBC Radio London. Bob Hunt and myself, Kevin Hand, and
the scoreboard read by Julian Clark.
Well, don't go yet, the sandwiches aren't ready yet.
Aren't they here?
Oh, they're not here yet. No. Otherwise you'll give it to Julian and we'll have to come back on and there'll be no sandwiches. What's your summary of that innings, Bob? I reckon a little bit light, but a good start. The power play is going to be crucial. A good start for Middlesex, and you would feel that they should be able to manage this chase on a small ground. Well, a bad start, and then all of a sudden 170 could look big.
Well, I can tell you one good aspect about what's happened out there is that David Payne is a very good bowler in the power play.
Yep.
And he always goes to about 3 or 4 on his first 2 overs.
Oh, listen, Stephen Finn is about to do the interview in the middle. Let's see if we can just catch his reply to this question here. This is the on-pitch interview for Middlesex at the ground.
That is the game, unfortunately. You take the rough with the smooth, but taking wickets is our goal. I'm very grateful.
Tell us about conditions out there, because the wicket looks kind of heavily grassed, but still played pretty well.
Yeah, I think naturally here the wickets are grassy, but that helps it skip on a little bit. I thought we bowled well through the middle to restrict them and take wickets. And we know it's a very quick scoring ground, so hopefully we get a good start and can put them under pressure.
There you go, that's a little breezy bonus. He stood right in front of our effects mic. We should paint the picture for listeners. The absolute bonus is the two of them stood right in front of our effects mic, so that was why we were able to hear Finney so clearly on that.
Yeah, where's the food though?
No,
it's excellent. I'll tell you what, I thought Stephen Finn was the difference between the two teams. I mean, he bowled very tight.
Well, that 6th over set the tone for the remainder of the innings, didn't it? So, I mean, look, he's bowling really well at the moment. And, you know, when he picked up those injuries, now we've got the problem that Fultz is still stood in front of the effects mic, shouting to turn the effects mic right down.
Someone's out there trying to catch attention. That girl with him.
I don't know. She's obviously the onside production team for Middlesex. They brought in Fultz obviously as their Middlesex on-pitch presenter, which gave us that interview. Hopefully that came through as loud and as clear at home as we heard it, because it sounded in front of the interview as though... Now, that wasn't the Gloucestershire performance, listeners. That's who's arrived. Bob's delighted. Oh, sandwiches, cakes, chips, we're looking good.
And now we're going to have the scorecard read by Julian Clark.
Oh, well done, Bob. He's delighted by this, Bob, that he's able to hand over the mic. Thanks, Julian. Julian's going to buy 2 minutes to scoff some chips. Well done, Julian.
OK, so Gloucestershire won the toss and decided to bat. Miles Hammond was caught by Morgan off the bowling of Finn for 42. Michael Klinger bowled Toby Rowland-Jones 20. Cobain caught by Simpson off the bowling of Finn for a single. Bracey was caught by Scott off Souter, for 32. Higgins was caught by Souter off bowling of Finn for 19. Jack Taylor caught Rowland-Jones, bowled Helm 22. Van Buren was stumped by Simpson off Mujib for 22. And Ty in the same over caught by Helm off Mujib for a 0 first ball. Not 1 and Payne not out 2. Chris Liddell did not bat. There were 7 extras comprised of 5 leg byes and 2 no balls. The bowling figures: Mujib 4 overs, no maidens 2 for 31. Helm 4 overs, no maidens 1 for 48. Rowland-Jones 4 overs, no maidens 1 for 22. Finn 4 overs, no maidens 3 for 18. And Souter 4 overs, no maidens 1 for 44.
Good man, thanks Julian. Our scorer for today, much appreciated. On the go and help yourself sandwiches, says Bob. 2 right. Absolutely, it's a good performance, I reckon, by Middlesex. That, but we shall see again. The power play is going to be crucial, Bob. Oh, he's got a mouthful of food. I'll ask you again in a minute, Bob. Sorry. Let me tell you the scores elsewhere. You're listening to BBC Bristol and BBC London. Peter Mead says 160 on the board, maybe enough, or it may not be. Commentators get paid for these penetrating insights. Is that you or me, Bob? Durham Notts, as we know, match of back. In fact, this isn't the live up-to-date scorecard. Thank you very much. Cantelli in the Women's Kia Super League. Loughborough Lightning won by 9 wickets in their match against the Yorkshire Diamonds. Excuse me, and we'll give you the rest of those scores in just a moment, because the Wi-Fi looks as though it's gone down at the outground, which is a regular occurrence, and something I should have thought of. Something's been spotted on the big screen by Bob. What is it? Dave Fulton's interviewing somebody about their candy floss. Is that correct? Is it candy floss that she's got in her hand there, or ice cream, or something? That can't be ice cream. The size of that. What is that? That can't be ice cream. That cannot be ice cream. Look at the size of it. Where did they get that? We'll have to go.
Carbo loading.
We'll have to go and find where that is, Bob. That looks good.
Well, I'm not an ice cream man myself.
Oh, you know what are you?
Well, I like it.
Yeah. Eat your sandwich, Bob.
But I can't have it.
Oh dear. Eat your sandwich, Bob. Right, Birmingham, 179 for 6 off 20 overs. In between innings there against Lancashire. Glamorgan 152 for 6 off their 20 against Surrey at Cardiff. And Derbyshire 142 for 3 after 13.2 overs against Yorkshire. 48 not out for Madsen, still going. 2 for 22 for him so far. So those are the scores elsewhere in the blast this afternoon. Still delayed in that game. They haven't abandoned it yet, though. Worcestershire. Worcestershire, 142 for 3 after 13.2 overs against Yorkshire. 48 not out for Madsen, still going. 2 for 22 for him so far. So those are the scores elsewhere in the blast this afternoon. Still delayed in that game. They haven't abandoned it yet, though. Worcestershire. Fifth in the North Group with 8 points from 9 games. And Yorkshire 6 from 8 in 6th spot in that group. So here at Radlett will be very nearly ready to go again.
Umps coming out.
And are they? Where are they? Oh, they are. Of course, they're over the other side. I'm looking at the Middlesex side. I'm not seeing anybody. In fact, the fielders are there ready to go as well for Gloucestershire. And, well, the team talk will be, obviously, try and keep it tight, try and execute those skills and plans in the power play, because, yeah, this is a small ground, but it is a first T20 here, isn't it? So let's see how that goes for Middlesex in the chase. Again, we were told before the match, with the second 11 games that have been played here, 180 is about the score to look at. So they're just short of what, for a second 11 game, would be about par, but let's see how the first go. Power play for me going to be wholly crucial here. If Middlesex can put 50 for 2 on the board in the power play, I reckon I'll have it. That old adage, Bob, I'm sure you've heard this many times in the power play. Lose 3 wickets or more in the power play, and you lose 90% of your games. So 50 for 2 off the power play, and I'm going to say it's Middlesex's game. Would be my call on that one.
I'm just finishing my chips.
Are you? I didn't notice. See, you can nod, Bob. It makes good radio. Here's Sterling and Milan heading out to the middle. You're listening to BBC Bristol, BBC Radio London, live on DAB in the southwest, all around the world, as ever with BBC Radio London on the BBC Sport website and app. So Milan and Sterling it is, bounding out to the middle. Solid opening pair. Eskenazi at 3. Morgan I expect to go up to 4 in the absence of de Villiers. His return from that back injury on Friday. Scott at 5, Simpson 6, Roland Jones 7, Helm, Sousa, Finn and Majib making up the batting.
They do bat a long way down, but Finn can bat obviously come in at 10.
Yeah, but you don't want to leave it. Well, let's put it this way. You don't want to leave it a lot to the 8 and 9, who are both good batsmen, Helm and Sousa. I reckon by the time you get to Roland Jones, as on Friday when Middlesex were 40 for 5, and Eskenazi and Roland Jones had to bail them out, getting them up to 128, which wasn't enough at all, even though they had a reasonable start.
This is a gamble. Van Buren is bowling.
I'll tell you what as well. First day was yours. I'm eating chips.
Of course it is. Okay, that's fine. Absolutely fine. Van Buren opened the bowling for Gloucestershire. Now, Michael Klinger is gambling on this because Van Buren is a strange bowler. He can either bowl it incredibly well or he bowls it short. Now, they've got the 2 fielders outside on the cover boundary and I think a third man. Unless they got someone straight. Van Buren bowls, and that's tucked away for a single. Smith does the fielding. So Van Buren to the right-hander will put AJ... No, it's Ryan Higgins going out to deep square leg, but I'm trying to find out where the other fielder is. Is it third man? No. Has he got someone? No, he's got a long leg down the boundary down there. So a long leg on the boundary and a deep square leg. As Van Buren waits as Sterling looks around the field and thinks, right, okie dokie, I'm going to try and put it over cow corner. And that's defended by Sterling. Good over from Van Buren. I'm glad that Van Buren's bowling well because he can bowl a bit badly. He can bowl a little bit short, but... and that has gone over the wicket. That's a 4. That's very short from Van Buren, and it's gone one bounce into the crowd on the offside. They haven't populated that at all. That is the problem with Van Buren. They got 2 on the leg side and no one fielding on the cover boundary, which is 5 without loss now. As he comes in again, and that's turned away, and that's going to go for another 4 down the leg side. And it is a bit of a bad over this for Van Buren. 9 off it, so down the leg side. He overcompensated then, didn't he? Overcompensated. So it's 9 off the first over so far. I think there's 1 ball to go. Is that 2? 2 balls to go. Sterling on 8 and defends that one back. Pops it back. And Van Buren, the last ball of his first over, 9 without loss. This is an important ball. And he defends again. So that's in the end, Van Buren comes back to defend very nicely in the end. 9 without loss, and Milan takes off his jumper. It's obviously hot out there. Right then, Kevin Hand, I did that over. I did that over Kevin Hand. What are you looking at? Kevin Hand, what's he looking at? It's going to be David Payne coming from the whoever owns that field, Slatter's field, I think it is. Now, David Payne is a very good bowler, and he's got a third man and a backward square leg as the 2 fielders outside the circle. An important over this from David Payne. It's an expensive first over, well, a fairly expensive first over from Van Buren. Not a disaster by any means. And David Payne coming in from Slatter's field end, Kevin Hand.
The what now? The Salters field end.
Salters field end, yeah.
Here's Payne, left arm over, he bowls. Sue Milan down the leg side and taken by the keeper. No wide?
Nah, it wasn't a wide.
Don't do, flick a bit of pad. Must have done, yeah. 9 for no wicket. At the end of the, or at the start of the second over. Go on, you go into the cake, I'll do the second over.
Okay.
We've done well here, haven't we? What happened to the guests we lined up for the interval? Martin Fry was going to come and tell you all about Sevi Ballesteros. Julian
read the scorecard.
Julian did a fantastic scorecard, and then I did a fantastic 8 minutes on my own thereafter. He's paying his left arm over bowls, and Milan pushes 2 mid-off. And has a single, 10 for no wickets, Middlesex. You see, that was the problem with your big breakfast, Bob. Big breakfast, but then not having lunch until 4 o'clock in the afternoon left a big hole at the top of your belly, didn't it? He filled it, folks, don't worry. Don't worry, he's happy now. One sandwich, is that what he's saying? He didn't say 8 minutes, 2 sandwiches. Quite a few chips. So, 10 for no wicket. Middlesex, as they chase 169 to win here at Radlett. Paul Sterling checks the fields, 8 to his name from 5 deliveries. Van Buren going for 9 that first over, and Payne left arm over from the Salsers field end. He runs in, bowls, and Sterling checks a drive which he has placed perfectly in between backward point and cover. And deep square comes deep point comes up to collect. Well, he checked the shot in the end because I think he realised he was going to hole out to the deep point otherwise. Fortunately, he managed to place it between those 2 fielders. As he comes down and taps away at the surface. And again, I go back to that power play for Gloucestershire. That 6th over. How crucial that proved to be. Just the 1 run off it after a pretty good first 5 for Gloucestershire. As Payne comes in, bowls to Milan, he works into the onside, a dot ball. Just the 2 runs off 4 balls in Payne's over here, and you can see Milan and Sterling are obviously trying to get the pace of this pitch.
Well, look, David Payne, I repeat it many times, is a very good opening bowler in the T20. He'll probably bowl 2 overs.
Yeah.
He may bowl 3.
Ooh.
He may even bowl 4. Well, he bowled 4, didn't he, Julian, last time? Opened with 4 overs on the trot.
Here's length ball onto the hip of Milan. The singles turn to the short fine leg, where Van Buren gathers eventually, and Milan moves to 3, 12 for no wickets, and 2 to come of the second over. Was it a leg by? My apologies. Yeah, probably would have raced. Van Buren probably would have had more trouble gathering it if it was off the bat, wouldn't it? It would have raced away. 12 for no wicket. And here's Sterling awaiting the right-hander as Payne left arm over bowls and Sterling dabs into the onside. Oh, they thought about the quick single. Sterling gets back and Payne doesn't even release the throw in the end for risk of the boundary just in front of us. Short third man up inside the circle, so away with throw. Yeah, well, exactly. And off his own bowling as well. He only went for 2 the over, didn't he? So
now, I think
no overthrows.
Now, I think is he going to bring Van Buren back on? I don't think he will, actually. I think it's going to be AJ Tye coming on from the pavilion end. AJ Tye. Now, AJ Tye is he comes with an impressive record. However, he can't particularly short, which is a bit of a worry. But they've got a sweep on the cover boundary and they've got a backward square leg. So they are they've gone down to a long leg now. The third man they've got now, so third man, and just Higgins comes in from the boundary. As Tye, his first ball, comes in to bowl. To Milan is on 2 and bowls and played nice. It's a lovely shot, completely beats Tom Smith. Oh, and it was no chance actually. It was overpitched and a lovely straight drive, giving Smith no chance. And that's a bad ball.
Would you say shot of the day, Bob?
I think that was up there with a shot of the day, possibly.
Yeah, if you put that in just cricketing terms, what the big hitting of T20, that's surely the shot of the day from Milan. Gorgeous cover drive.
Well, he's only got 2 on the ball at the moment, so it doesn't count. Milan again, and that's hoiked away, and this time there's no run. And they're fielded by Michael Klinger. Well, Tye will be disappointed with that first ball, certainly will be, because it was overpitched. But it's a lovely shot, I've got to say, it's a lovely shot.
Yeah, look, if these 2 get it off to a flyer, the Middlesex will be really confident. Fortress Radlett, I think it's fair to say, they've got a pretty good record here in the One Day Cup. Indeed, in that championship game.
Well, at the moment they're not going too well, are they?
Oh, you just wait and see.
Well, no, I'm not. Tye again bowls. and that's turned away, and the sweeper comes in from the square leg boundary and throws it in, just a single. Now it's 17 now. That's right, isn't it? 17 is correct. 17 without loss. In the midway through the third over here at Radlett. It's even Stevens at the moment, I think. Even very much Stevens. As Milan, now the scoreboard has failed again, so we have to look at the other one. Milan and Sterling. Sterling facing. Ty bowls to him, and that defended. Again, backward point comes into field. This is a much better over from AJ Ty now. They've got to be tight, haven't they, Julian Clark? Got to be very tight. Here on BBC Bristol and BBC Radio London, Bob Hunt and Kevin Hand with Julian Clark, our scorer. With Gloucestershire getting 168 in their innings, which I think is just about par, we're thinking. Just about par. As Ty comes in again and bowls to Sterling, and as again fielded that backward point, nicely so by Tom Smith. Not by Tom Smith, it's by Cobain down there. It's a long way away, is Cobain, and there's a bit of a slope here, you see. You just can't see that fielder down that third man. You can only see the top of his head. An impressive over this from Ty. How many balls to go, Nick, Julian? 1 ball to go. How many runs so far? 5 off it so far. It's an important ball as he comes in and bowls and hits him, and that's again a dot ball to end the over. That's a very, very impressive over from AJ Ty. Only 5 of it, 17 without loss. 3 overs have been bowled.
Former editor of Match of the Day, that was, in the tent there.
Yes, I remember him before. He came to see us before, didn't he?
Yeah. Big fan of yours, Bob. You'd have been on Match of the Day by now if he was still Match of the Day editor, Bob. Could you imagine that? Oh, Alex, sorry, did you not get any lunch? Oh, would have saved you more than that. I bet the press tent next door have got absolutely loads. Oh, he has had lunch. That's just a Brucey bonus. He's gone for all of our biscuits.
What's a biscuit? The cake hasn't gone down well, has it?
Here's Payne, left arm over, he bowls to Milan on the back foot, he pushes back up the track, and there you go, it shows his disdain at the pitch as that one leapt on him, he feels.
Well, I'll tell you what about Payne. You see, Payne is a very good bowler, as I've told you so often. And
do you think Payne's a good bowler, Bob?
I think he's a very good bowler. And the trouble is, you see, Middlesex are going to get a bit frustrated about it now. They're probably going to do something audacious. It might come off. But they've got to push the rate along, haven't they?
I think Milan will just try and play his strokes here, there and everywhere around the park, which is pretty much his game. I don't think he'll try anything too dramatic, as this ball's short and hooked away down to deep backward square leg, and he'll just well, that's putting it away though. It's on his hip, isn't it? Just put away the he plays cricket shots, doesn't he, Milan? Like the cover drive for 4, lovely shot. He'll try and get the pace of the pitch. He obviously knows he's got to, in the power play in particular, try and put Middlesex on or around about 50.
Well, I think that Michael Klinger will probably take Payne off after this over and probably bring on Tom Smith, tie it down with left-handed spin.
I mean, look, Milan's a brilliant over. Whether that puts a little bit more pressure on Paul Sterling, if you've got a stroke player at the other end to go for those big high-risk shots, as Milan's forward, pushing a single to mid-off, throws to the non-striker's end. He didn't gather it. He didn't gather it cleanly to get the throw away. I just saw the hand. I was just about to say the hand was going to go back and throw it, and then the batsman got in the way, and I didn't see that it was a fumble.
Well, AJ Ty is a very big man, long way for him to go down.
It's 22 for no wicket. How do you get down nowadays, Bob, in your cricketing career?
How do I get down? In stages.
How'd you get back up?
Never.
Here's Payne, his left arm over. Bowls, and there you go. Yeah. Sterling goes big. Has he got enough on it? Mid-on's giving chase, and he's going to get away with it. Clears the field, a 1 bounce 4. In fact, it went all the way for 6. My goodness me. Well, everybody looked up and thought, where has it gone?
It did.
The big screen there, just looking at the replay now, it was 1 bounce just over the rope, 4-6. Mid-off and mid-on up inside of the circle, so Sterling would have known what he was doing.
I think he's changed the 4, hasn't he?
Have they? No, it's called a no
ball. Is
anyone? It's not a no ball. He's just blocking the bowler from running in while Sterling. But the 4 or the 6. Anybody else see a change? As here's Payne is in, bowl short, looking for an uppercut. Sterling through to the keeper it goes. No, everybody's going with 6 still.
28. It's gone for 28. Well, I mean, this is the 4th over, and what was the score for the power play for Gloucestershire? It was 60, wasn't it?
6 overs was 47.
47, yeah.
Yeah, and then he got 1 off the 6th, didn't they? So, yeah, again, that solid 5 going for 46. That 6th over could look very costly come the end of the game. We shall see. We shall see. Here comes Payne. Left arm over the wicket from the Saltersfield end. He bowls on a length, and it's run away by Sterling. Nicely played for 4, and it's going to ramp up into the press end next to us. Pops up off the boundary rope, actually, which probably saved the press end there. Rather than ramping up the advertising board, it just jumps up off the rope. 32 for
I've got to say, it was a disappointing over from David Payne. I think they'll probably take him off now. I mean,
15 off the over.
What he is doing is missing Benny Howe, palpably so, and it's going to be Liddle coming on from the pavilion end. Never knowingly undersold, Liddle. No, what's it? Liddle. What's the phrase for Liddle?
That's John Lewis. Never knowingly underbowled.
Yeah, Liddle.
What's the Liddle one? Go on, tell us.
Where the rash, that's very good. Little, lovely bread they do. Little lovely bread.
Popular on the continent, isn't it?
Very popular on the continent, yeah. Along with Aldi. Anyway, enough of that. It is Liddle coming on to bowl from the pavilion end. He's going to bowl in 2.
We did mention all the supermarkets there, so it's okay.
We can, yes. Milan is facing. Liddle bowls. And that's short, pulled away, and it's got to be some work for the field on the leg side boundary, and he gathers it, and it's Jack Taylor down there, and they come back for an easy 2. I think it is a sort of pitch where it sits up quite a lot. And if it is short, it's pulled away. And I just think they want the power play to be ended soon, because then they can get 5 fielders out to really. There's a third man as well, not really much use, and that's pulled away. No, did he get a run to that? Was that a leg by? Certainly. No, just pulled away. No, it's a leg by signalled. So 34 without loss, and it's 46 was the Gloucestershire score. If they get around the same area, it's going to be in for a good game of cricket.
Yeah, I just think the Middlesex will fancy managing that chase better outside the power play.
Gloucestershire were going to win.
Did it? What?
You said they said it was a good score, Gloucestershire.
I said it's a reasonable score, but I think the power play will be crucial.
You did say that.
I think if Middlesex have a good power play, 50 for 2 in the power play, I think they'll win.
Okay.
And they're 36 without loss in the 5th.
35, actually. And that's an appeal, and it goes down, and they run. Oh!
Because you picked me up on that 1 run, I'm going to steal the last chocolate cookie.
Have you?
Yep. Do you want half of it?
No, you can have it. There's a nice bit of fruitcake.
Fruitcake, which isn't going down well, no.
No, too much. Can't have too much fruitcake. Diabetic, you know.
Fruitcake's winking at you, is it, Bob?
It is, seductively. Come to me. Eat me. Little balls again. That's hoiked away by Sterling, just for a single. It's not a classic cricket shot by any means. It's fielded by AJ Ty.
I guess you take a seductive wink anywhere for your age,
don't you, Bob? Yeah, seductive. Anyone can give me a seductive wink. I'm up for it. If anyone gives me a seductive wink, I'm your man. Oh dear, Sterling on 19. He's faced 14 balls. He actually hasn't seen as much of the strikers as Milan, although he has got the big shots in, hasn't he? Now, Sterling is a big man, powerful man. They got the mid-on and mid-off in as Liddle bowls to him and clipped back, and it's just a single, fielded by Michael Klinger, the skipper. Just a single, 1 run. Now, that wasn't a... Now, I'm just thinking, has he bowled 3 balls or 4 balls now? 5. I see the scoreboard stuck again. It says 3. 37. I know it's 37, yes, but I see I'm ignoring that board now. It's farcical. I mean, this is his last ball of his first over. He's had 3 off it so far. He bowls, and that's a silly shot. It was very short, and it's gone for 4. That's sport. What was a good over from Liddle, and his score is now 41 with 1 over at the power play to go.
You mean it was a silly ball, not a silly shot?
It was a bad ball. It's down the left side, wasn't it? Yeah.
Put away. I mean, it's quite sharp on him. It did tuck him up. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually gloved that, did he, down the leg side?
Oh, he got runs to it, yeah.
I know, but I wasn't sure it was off the bat. Maybe he did, but it was certainly glanced really off the bat if it was, 'cause it wasn't as clean as he'd have liked, Sterling. Yeah. So what, 41 for no wicket after 5? So they're there or thereabouts on the same score at the end of the 6th that Gloucestershire was. And again, I said if they were 50 for 2, I'd back Middlesex to win it at the end of from there at the end of the power play. Well, there should be no more than one down, really.
Well, AJ Ty's coming on because the bloke who owns that field, what's his called? Salters Field. Yeah.
Who does Salter play for? Glamorgan, doesn't he? Phil Salter, yeah.
Yeah, Phil Salt.
No, Phil Salt plays for Sussex, but the Salter that plays for Glamorgan.
Yeah. He doesn't own that field, though, does he?
I don't think he played in the match here, the championship match either. He doesn't own that field as far as I know.
No, he could do. His tie.
His right arm over the wicket, bowls to Milan. Drops a single into the offside. 42 for no wickets. So over to you, Paul Sterling, for the 5 balls left of the power play. Milan moves to 16.
Well, this is an over I'm quite worried about, I've got to say, because AJ Ty, as I say, does bowl in short, and Sterling loves anything short, doesn't he? Loves it.
Well, just anywhere he can free up his arms, Paul Sterling.
It's a nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely.
What are they supposed to do at the end of that?
Hooray!
Are they?
Yeah.
Here comes Ty, bowls, and Sterling drops a single to point. 43 for no wicket. Back to you, David Milan.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be very even at the end of the power play. I've got to worry, though, because I have to say this.
Do you know what, though? I'd say chasing. I'd say Middlesex would be very happy at the end of the power play on this, because these two, Ian, you'd expect one of them to go on.
You would do. You could do.
Because it really slowed up the next 10, didn't it, for
well, it did, but that was
Gloucestershire.
That was good bowling, by Finn in particular.
Here's Ty, and he bowls to Milan. He strokes to cover a dot ball. Who's going to be your Stephen Finn, then?
Well, I don't know, because Payne hasn't bowled particularly well. I mean, Tom Smith can actually shore things up in the middle of his 4 overs of slow left arm, if he gets it right. But the margin for error on this pitch, I think, is very tiny. Very tiny indeed. We shall see. It's all happening in the future, isn't it? We don't know what's happening in the future. We don't know.
Ty to Milan, runs it down to third man. They're running the first one fast. How wide is third man now? It's just a single. Milan moves to 17, 44 for no wickets. 2 left of the power play.
I think it's going to be even Stevens. 46 or 2. We were 46 for 2, weren't we?
Yeah.
47 we had.
I mean, the key thing is, look, these two are getting the pace of this pitch. Are one of them going to go? Does one of them go on? And if one of them does, then Middlesex win this game.
Well, Sterling facing now. He's a big man, isn't he? Big man.
Ty bowls to him, and the Belfast boy drags the ball into the onside, only to the mid-wicket fielder all along the floor. No run, and didn't really have the room to free up his arms on that one as he'd liked Sterling to get hold of it.
I like the way Ty's got his towel hanging out the back of his trousers.
Yes.
Fashion accessory, really.
Is that what you're going to be wearing tonight on the town in Bristol?
Driving back to Bristol tonight, my boy.
Sterling awaits, Ty bowls, and block hole delivery, driven back down the ground, mid-on with a desperate dive, couldn't stop it. It's 4 to end the power play, 48 for no wickets. And Sterling moves to 29. 6 overs bowled here on BBC Bristol and BBC Radio London.
Well, that was that was very crucial, that last ball 4, because it does put Middlesex ahead. Now, I know it's going to be quite close. Now, Middlesex obviously don't want to go to the last over, do they? You never want a game to go to the last over.
That's good from you, Bob. Good from you. What? That's good from you. Good knowledge. Do it in the 19th. Don't save it to the 20th.
No, I know about cricket. Anyway, that's the end of the power play. So 6 overs gone, 48 for no wicket. Now Tom Smith is coming on. Now this is Tom Smith. Now Tom Smith with the field spread, you can't, unless he bowls it very short. He's a nerdler. You've got to nerdle Tom Smith, and go for bad ball. Says AJ Ty in front of us. He says that's the 12th man.
No,
he says it's a bad ball to finish with. He says
a little bit too full, maybe.
Well, it was too full. He knows it. But anyway, Tom Smith has got a cover. He's got a long on and a long off, I would imagine. I can't quite see. And a backward square leg and a mid-wicket.
Just looking back through the figures of how the spinners went for Middlesex. I'll go through that in a moment.
Here is Tom Smith, bowls to Milan, and Milan clips it to the leg side. It's going to be fielded. Lovely bit of fielding by Jack Taylor. Only 1 run.
He's unlucky there, Milan. That was almost a shot unlike Milan, the way that he slapped at that almost across the line, especially first ball from Smith. I didn't think it was that short.
Well, Tom Smith is better against left-handers.
Is he?
Yes. Well, that's what he says.
Okay.
Well, he does, actually.
I don't disbelieve it.
Well, no.
But you usually think the left-arm spinner would prefer bowling to the right-hander.
You wait.
No, I don't disbelieve it, Bob.
No, Sterling, look at that gap he's got on the onside. All the fielders on the boundary as Tom Smith bowls to Sterling and just helps himself to an easy single. David Payne does the fielding. I think he came off his pad, did it? No, it's given to him as a run. Sterling moves on to 30. 50's up. Round of applause from the crowd.
Will Smith be more Majib or Souter? Majib 2 for 31 from his 4. Souter 1 for 44 from his 4.
He'll be a Majib.
He'll be a Majib,
yeah,
you reckon? I think he needs to be if Gloucestershire are to keep this close.
Certainly. Smith bowls again, and that's cut. Ryan Higgins does the fielding. I mean, what we haven't seen at all today is anyone taking the pace off the ball. I mean, if you could the pace off the ball, couldn't you? But they haven't done that.
I don't know, it's quite a small... I mean, you think of the playing area itself, they are quite small boundaries here, aren't they? So, I know what you're saying with dropping 2 to the edge of the 30-yard circle.
Yes.
But it is a small playing area, remember, on the outground.
Certainly is. And I can't see what happened to that. What happened to that at all?
Push back.
Was in the way.
Push back to the bowler on the onsides. These pesky fielders.
Yeah, they get in the way of everything. All I can see is his towel hanging out the back of his trousers for some reason. I still can't see him. No, look around. No, can't see a word. No, just that.
Down the track comes Sterling. He tries to cover.
Oh, that's a misfield.
And misfield brings through the single, 52 for no wicket. Poor old Bob. You were so in completely the wrong seat there. Ty was right in front of you.
If I can move away a little, that's right.
You didn't get a smile there, Bob.
I didn't get a smile at all. No, I didn't.
Don't interview him later.
Oh, that's going to be up in the air, and that's gone miles into the crowd, over the crowd, into the tree. A 6 to finish off the Smith over. That's a poor over. Now, I thought that if he bowls it short, this is the it's the status quo.
It is
status quo. I know.
We went for breakfast with his wife one morning in Spain. She just moved to Spain. They had the same Spanish teacher.
Who's it?
His wife, what was his name? Rick. Parfitt sadly passed away, didn't he, last year? He didn't live far away from us. We went for breakfast one morning with his wife.
Did you?
Yeah.
She pleasant?
Very nice lady. Sadly, he passed away last year, didn't he, Rick?
Yeah. Well, that's a bad over from Smith. I mean, it's a funny over. I mean, 3 or 4 good balls, but they got tonked for 6 of the last ball. You'd never want to get a boundary on the last ball of the over, do you? Never do.
No.
You don't, really.
Well, as a bowler, you don't want off the first ball of the over because you're under pressure for the rest of it.
In fact, you don't want a boundary.
Or the second ball or the third.
No, any ball, really, you don't want a boundary.
I was wondering where you were going with that. 58 without loss.
Now this is a good move. Higgins. Higgins can bowl.
I tell you what, on this pitch as well, if he
what he does with Higgins
manages to mix up his pace nicely on the top of off stump.
Yeah, he bowls pretty medium.
He's in now, right arm over the wicket from Salters Field end, and forward goes Sterling, driving into the offside, fielded at cover. There's no run. 58 for no wicket.
If I may say something.
Go on.
Higgins bowled the last.
Actually, no, you may not.
The last over against Surrey on Friday after the rain, and he bowled it incredibly tightly. And Klinger said, I wasn't going to bowl him. He came on for his one and only over. You're watching Man United.
Here goes Higgins. He's in, bowls, and this ball's driven away out to deep cover for a single. 59 for no wicket. The analyst won't mind me saying he's a Liverpool fan, so he's cheering on Chelsea.
That's Chris Dent out there. I don't know who's he on for. Can't be Klinger. Klinger's there. Who must it be on for? I think it might be Hammond. I can't see Hammond. He's on there somewhere. Chris Dent is the fielder out there, certainly. Moves round to deep square leg. I mean, Chris Dent's a good fielder. He's worth having out there. He's a good fielder.
It's cheating then.
Well, it is cheating. Well, not if someone's injured.
Higgins to Milan on 25. He's right arm over the wicket. The left hand stretches on the drive outside the off stump, meeting a block hole delivery. Picks up a single to deep cover. 60 for no wicket.
Yeah, this is a decent start by Middlesex. I think they've got to rein themselves in.
Andrew Wilmot on Twitter says, just been observing Sterling in action. I see he's had some time with Ireland again.
Yeah, he's a bit paunchy. I didn't want to say that, actually.
Glass houses, Bob, glass houses.
I know, yeah.
Higgins bowls, and this ball's driven away by Sterling out to deep cover for a single. 61 for no wicket. Sterling moves to 33. I'm just having a look. I think he's doing all right, isn't he? Paul Sterling. He had the test match with Ireland, of course, but Lord's lunches for the test match.
Yeah.
Mind you, how many days? It did go to a fourth day, didn't it, the test?
When's the second one starting? This week, isn't it?
The Ashes, yes. That's Wednesday. Wednesday it is, yeah. Here goes Higgins to Milan, and the on just climbed at him a little. He's ridden it into the onside, fielded at mid-wicket, and there's no run.
Yeah, quite over this from Higgins.
Jed Lads is tuned in, and he says his wife Daisy says, stop bickering, you two.
We're not bickering.
What are we bickering about?
We're not bickering, we're just chatting.
Yes, we are.
Chatting.
Very impressed that Bob best the intro on the Quo song as in comes Higgins, bowls to Milan and thumping onto the pad, an appeal from Higgins, but not from anybody else. Respect, says Jed Ladd.
Respect indeed. It was Miles Hammond. Chris Dent has come off.
Are they gone again with the status quo?
They're going with the quo.
They heard we liked it, obviously.
And here we go.
We're rocking all over, Brad.
Oh, you and Dave Fulton.
Rocking.
On the move again. See him? Give him a smile.
You and Dave Fulton on the status quo. I can see it now. At the PCA dinner this year, you and Fulton on stage doing status quo.
It's rock and roll.
It is rock and roll.
Well said, Fulton. Where is he? Let's see if we can see him and laugh at him.
Well, everyone's just moving their arms about aimlessly. It's ridiculous. Bit of Perry Como. Come on. Oops. Huge sit out. Caught by Taylor. He's gone. Caught on their cover boundary. What a wicket. I mean, it was Jack Taylor, as we say, very, very safe pair of hands. Never drops anything. AJ Time puts his glass down and joins him in this is Oasis, isn't it?
It is.
Look back in anger.
There you go.
Oh, just say Eskenazi.
Well done, Bob. You got the song. Did you get the wicket? Who bowled it?
Little.
Oh, there you go.
Little bowl.
Never only under bowled.
I got everything. I gave the listener every bit of information they wanted then. I did.
61 for 1 in the ninth here on BBC Radio London and BBC Bristol. And Sterling 33. Solid partnership with Milan at the top on 26. Eskenazi in at 3.
Happy, does he?
No, he doesn't look happy. But
this is. I know this is Firewall, isn't it? Firestorm.
Don't know. Someone else up. Yeah.
Cheers.
Was that back in your roving days?
I was up. No, it's just Ibiza music. That is.
Yeah.
Little again. Bowls to Eskenazi. His first ball. And pulls it away, and that's straight into the hands on the bounce of the aforementioned fielder Jack Taylor, just a single. Sorry, it wasn't Eskenazi, it was Milan, because they crossed, of course. They did cross, they did, absolutely right, yes. Eskenazi now facing his first ball from Liddle. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Pointing to your palm, what's that?
He's a right-hander.
I know he's a right-hander, I just got to make a mistake.
That's fair, you might not have seen that much of Eskenazi. Six, only been down a couple of years, Division 2.
Eskenazi faces his first ball now and gets a rather fortuitous thing as he just chops it down to where slip would have been, but no slip there at the moment. And he gets off the mark first ball. 63 for 1 Middlesex in the ninth over. Now, looking at the scoreboard, I don't think after 10 overs, I think you're going to be behind the rate. I'm not saying you're not going to win. I just think, you'll probably play it very cautiously. As Little comes in and bowls to Milan, who's on 27, and keeps it on 27 as he bowls a good dot ball. So Little actually is bowling very well. He's a very experienced cricketer, is Little. He's been with Gloucestershire for 3 or 4 years now, from Sussex.
Yep, where he was a really effective white ball cricketer down there, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You were looking for the catchphrase of Little, weren't you?
Yes, what is it?
Well, I looked up online. It doesn't seem to have one, but the first big sign that I did see was the big sail.
The big sail.
So I hope there's no freebies for the Middlesex batsman today, eh?
No. Well, anyway, he's not spelt the same way anyway. Little bowls. And that's a bad ball. That is a 6 all the way.
Long hop.
Long hop. I mean, I think even you or I could have put that away for 6. It was a totally short ball, and it has ruined what had previously been a good over.
Ed Seaborn says, enjoying the karaoke, Kevin and BBC. Do you and Bob do requests as well?
Ed Seaborn, yeah, I've got old Ed, he's listening in. Where is he? He's all over the country, Ed Seaborn. You never know where he's living. I think he's living in Hampshire at the moment. He's my co-commentator. He's a good man.
I've requested Bob to stop.
Little bowls again, that's turned away for single. So that 6 ruined that over, really. It's gone she's got 1 for 17 now, Little. An expensive over. 9 off the over. 70 without loss after 9 overs.
The Island Test was an hour into the 3rd day, Jed Ladd informs me. Thank you, Jed.
What's it down to the 3rd day?
The Island Test was saying it went into the 4th, and he made an hour into the 3rd day.
Can I just make myself a cup of coffee?
Go on, you go make yourself a cup of coffee. Don't worry about me, Bob. He just wanted to get up to have a little dance to this one. It has been a bizarre music selection today, I must say. I'm not sure about the music selection at all for this one, but Middlesex fans will go home happy if they can see their team win this one. They still require 99 more, 70 for 1. And here's Smith, left arm over from the Salters field end. Reverse sweep from Milan, paddled fine of the short 3rd man. They have run 2, and that is all. Milan's on to 36 from 28, 72 for 1. Middlesex, and hit the halfway stage at the end of this over in terms of balls faced, but not quite there in terms of the runs required, as here's full one from Milan, from Smith, that Milan tries to turn into the onside, thumps onto the pad, and leg by signals backward a square on the offside.
Big appeal, wasn't it?
2 for 1, pitching outside the line of off. Hitting outside the line, and 73 for 1 it remains. It was a confident appeal from Smith. It was, here is Smith, left arm around. 73 for 1. Bowls to Eskenazi, 1 from 1 for him. And Smith bowls a reverse sweep from Eskenazi to the short 3rd man. There's no run. So 33 for Sterling, the 1 wicket to fall. And so Middlesex might look at this stage and say, look, only 1 wicket down with 10 overs bowled. There are a few shots that needed to be played by this point, as Eskenazi looks to work down the leg side. Short fine leg collects and have a single. Eskenazi 2 from 3, 74 for 1. Are there a few runs left out there in the first 10? If they're only 1 down and only 74 on the board.
What was the last shot of 10 overs, Julian Clark?
Total was 75 for 3.
Oh, it's very close.
75 for 3.
Very close, isn't it?
Here's Smith bowling a top edge from Milan on the reverse sweep. Goes over the keeper's head, just a single. It was a loopy top edge. Probably high up the bat, and 75 for 1.
Have you attempted the other cake, not the fruit cake?
No, what is it? Madeira cake?
Lemon.
Lemon?
Very nice.
I'll be in for that then.
Very nice.
Tell you what, that was a pretty big plate of food and chips, and it's nearly gone.
Well, I haven't been involved at all.
Smith, last ball of his 2nd over, he's around the wicket bowl. Eskenazi uses his feet and works a single down to long on, and 76 for 1.
That was a much better over for Smith, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Done for 15. Now, I think Marcus Glenn's got a bit of a problem here, because Little bowled a very poor over that last one, and I just think
So at the halfway stage,
it's going to be Higgins. That's a good idea.
76 for 1, as you can see. Gloucestershire were 75 for 3. Very
now I think.
poised.
Well, you say that David Ford says evenly poised. I think Middlesex should win.
I think so too.
I
think with the batting to come, Morgan, Scott, Simpson, Roland Jones, the likes of Scott in particular know this ground very well. Second 11 HQ for Middlesex.
Yeah, well, it's going to be Higgins. Now, Higgins has bowled one over, and he bowled it very tightly. He's coming in from the pavilion end, and he bowls to Eskenazi, and Eskenazi gets a single. They think about coming back for 2, but no, they are coming back for 2. That's a very bold move. Well, I think Andrew Ty had a long way to go down, and it was Higgins gives him a little round of applause. But should that have been 2? Well, why not? They got 2. It's all right. They got 2.
You were calling for more 2s, weren't you, Bob?
I do. I think they should have. Duckworth Lewis is now 79, so they're behind Duckworth Lewis at the moment at Middlesex. Well, that's a swish and a miss, and AJ Ty does an appeal right in front of us. Worth a shout, AJ.
Good humoured response from the Middlesex members to our right.
Well, he was the only one to appeal. He's 100 yards away from the action.
You were appealing as well, Bob. What are you talking about?
I wasn't appealing.
Internally you were.
Oh, that's another good ball. And this is where Higgins is at his best. You see, he takes the pace off the ball, and he's got a box of tricks.
Milan comes down to have a chat with Eskenazi. I don't think Middlesex needs to panic here, but again...
Well, they don't need to panic.
But one down, though, you don't want to be leaving too much for the rest to do in too short a space of time.
Exactly right. I mean, again, you never want to go to the last over if you can possibly help it, because the last over can be carnage.
Yep.
Absolute carnage. Higgins bowls again, and they get himself a single. Tom Smith fields it in the mid-wicket.
As Higgins once proved at Cheltenham College. For Middlesex.
Indeed, he did, yes.
Was that the innings that
was the innings,
I think?
I think that was the innings. Well, he wanted to join... As you know, he wanted to leave. Absolutely no response at all. As you know, he wanted to leave Middlesex because he thought he wasn't getting a first.
The irony being, I think, as I said to you earlier this season, he'd played every single game last summer if he'd have stayed.
He would have done.
They had to recruit in overseas at the last minute because of a batting crisis early season.
Third man's got. I can hardly see third man down there now.
Oh yeah.
Higgins bowls again. That's up in the air. That's a 6. Woo! Crash.
Over the press tent to our left. Very good shot from Milan.
Yeah, well, you can see it's in the slot from the... it's gone right over the press tent. See that? Again, I'm being a bit critical of Ryan Higgins there. He was bowling well, but one bad ball and over.
I mean, that's the way that we look at it. High-risk shots, try and put away the bad balls rather than go for the high-risk shots. And, if you see it, go for it like that, Milan down the grounds. And he's played some nice shots for his 43, hasn't he?
He has been, yeah. He's a very class act, isn't he? Class act. But that was right in the slot. It had to go. The last ball of his second over. And he gets a single. Klinger does the fielding. Makes it 13 runs off his 2 overs. So you see, he's bowled 4 or 5 good balls in an over, but one bad ball.
Interesting little reverse paddle at the end there, wasn't it? From Milan.
Fairly interesting.
Not that interesting then, though.
Well, it's
only fairly.
Interesting.
Brave against Higgins. He can push it through, can't he? But 86 for 1 it is. And... yeah, it's just trying to tuck it around the corner, Milan, but ended up hitting it in front of point.
Now, Smith's coming along. You see, this is where Michael Klinger has a bit of a problem. He can't turn to Benny Howe. So he has to... Well, Smith will obviously, will bowl his third over.
Smith's in, left arm over, bowls. Down the track comes Milan, that goes big. Over his head, over long off, over the van next to the scoreboard, and into the Salters Field. And it's 92 for 1, and that is Milan's 50. Brilliant 50 from David Milan here at Radlett.
Well, he has done well. I'm wondering, you see, if you go right back to the toss, Gloucestershire won the toss, and elected to bat. Now, if they'd have put them into bat, okay, they played here a lot in the second 11, etc., they would have found to assess. I don't know.
I don't
know. But I mean, I'm just what's a little theory.
33 balls, 2 4s, 4 6s for Milan, who's on strike here. To Smith, tucks up one fine around the corner. A short flight leaves, giving chase down the hill. It's going to go for 4. And Milan's on to 54 from 34. Middlesex 96 for 1. And now Gloucestershire need a wicket quick.
They're racing away with it.
Just a little bit of momentum all of a sudden gathers for Middlesex, and
well, David Payne,
the modest chase.
I've got to say, David Payne was unlucky that the ball just gathered speed down the hill.
Down the hill, yeah. As soon as it's past the fielder at either end, as Smith is in, and reverse from Milan for 4 more. And Milan's turning this into a little masterclass of his own. He's on to 58 from 35, and Middlesex 100 for 1 in the 12th.
Lovely shot. I mean, you just can't set a feel for that.
Well, I asked him where he is in his game at the moment, because he's leading the runs in the Championship and in the T20. He missed a lot of the One Day Cup because of injury. And I said to him, it can't really have ever been coming out of the middle of the bat better for you, has it? As here's Smith. Bowls, down the track comes Milan, drives hard, down to long on, just a single on this occasion. 101 for 12. And I think he pretty much admitted that, yeah, this is probably as good as it's been for him in his career.
We'll be playing for England, won't he, next week?
Well,
you hope?
Well, no, the squad's announced. He's missed next week, hasn't he, Milan?
Has he?
Yeah.
Of course he did, yes, because he didn't play well in the first test, did he?
No, he hasn't been back in since the
that's right.
Ireland's One Day International. As Eskenazi drives out to deep cover for a single, 102 for 1. And that was the game he picked up the injury and then missed the One Day Cup for Middlesex.
Correct, yeah. It's your game, isn't it?
It is, you'd have thought so.
Who are you playing this week in the T20? Tuesday game?
Wednesday. Essex at Chelmsford.
Oh, lovely Chelmsford.
Smith, his left arm over bowls, and Milan works out to deep mid-wicket for a single, 103 for 1. Milan moves to 60.
Poor over.
Poor over. Well, yeah.
But it was a poor over.
Yeah, it's a difficult game though, T20, isn't it? Because Smith, as you say, likes bowling to left-handers, he tells you. But it's bowled to Milan, and Milan's absolutely...
No, perhaps I got it wrong. Perhaps he likes bowling to AJ Ty's got to come back now, yes he is, and... they need, what do they need? 66 runs off 8 overs. So it's 8 and over, isn't it, Judy?
Good to see the pictures on the big screen. Your social media
17 off that over. Yeah, I mean, look, 66 to win with 8 overs and 9 wickets. You should should do this. And that was what I was talking about in terms of managing the chase. They were 50 for 2 at the end of the power play. I was back in Middlesex on this ground to manage the chase. Look, they were none down at the end of the power play.
Well, obviously wickets in hand is a big plus.
But equally, though, as you know, as we were just saying, you don't want to leave too much for even too many to do too late. And that was why we were saying this needed to pick up a little bit, this partnership. And Milan has stormed to a strike rate of 163 now.
If he gets another 6, and this is going to be an important over from Ty. Ty bowls to Milan. And that's whacked away down to Jack Taylor. Not Jack Taylor, it's Higgins down there who fields. It's a single. That does bring Eskenazi, who's very content, isn't he, to play a junior partner. Now, Klinger's very good at orchestrating this, you see. Klinger's very good man management in the field, and he knows exactly where the field is. But if the bowling's not good, there's nothing you can do about it, is there, really?
Big old win this if Middlesex can put it off with that Chelmsford next match that you were asking about. You know, Essex haven't had the greatest time of it so far in the group, so Middlesex wants to go there and do well.
Ty comes in again, bowls to Eskenazi, short, and that's whacked away, and it's straight. Again, just
good
a
shot
single.
for 1.
Good shot for 1. David Payne fields well down at long leg. You see, if you can go just for 1 a ball, you need 8. Have Man United scored?
They have. Much to the disappointment of our Liverpool supporting analyst next to us.
Oh dear. Who are they playing? Newcastle, isn't it? At Newcastle.
No,
they're not.
Chelsea.
Chelsea. Oh, I don't want to beat Chelsea.
Arsenal beat Newcastle earlier.
Milan bowls, and that's cut away. So that's a good ball. Oh, it's a wide, and Ty doesn't believe it. Well, I don't think that was a wide.
Do you believe it, Bob?
I can't believe it because I thought that was a.
Like Victor Meldrew there. I don't believe it. Look how wide that was. Not wide at all. No, it was inside the tram lines. No, it wasn't a wide.
I couldn't see. Was it outside the tram lines?
No, it was inside. It wasn't a wide. Shouldn't have been called a wide.
Really?
No, it shouldn't have been a wide.
Well, that's ridiculous. We want that run back. If they win by 1, I'm going to complain massively. Tie bowls again, and that's better. Bowls a full toss. They can only be hit away for a single. No, they come back for 2. It's good running. Very good run, I got to say. I mean, these two can actually skate a bit, can't they?
Yeah.
Sun's out now. It's lovely here at Radlett. Lovely in Radlett, isn't it?
Although Jedlad says, joking apart, Ranger at Radlett at 5 o'clock.
Is it?
What is the DLS par score, please? The par score, well, they're well ahead of that now, aren't they? The par score's 95 for the end of the 13th. The Middlesex are 108 for 1.
Oh dear.
Has that scoreboard given up on the far side?
I think so, yeah. Oh, that's a swish and a miss, and it goes through to Bracey behind the stumps. That's what you need. You just need a ball or two that doesn't get a run on it. You see, you've got
a couple of dot balls and a wicket would help.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, again, I say again, you don't want to go to the last over, but I think it probably will do, which makes a bit of a frisson to the crowd. 61 runs required and 7 overs after this to go, isn't it? Or 6? 7 after this, yeah.
We're getting requests for you, Bob, on Twitter.
And that's whacked away, and it's going to go. No, just the single. Cobain does the fielding, and that is the end of the over. No, it isn't. What requests?
Pierre Churro says, Kev, can you get Bob to sing a bit of Perry Cuomo?
Perry Cuomo? Who's he?
Status Quo and Perry Cuomo.
Oh, I see. Perry
Cuomo.
Yeah. I can, actually. I think about that.
Bob's remix of Perry Cuomo.
Tie bowls short, and that's run away. That was a good shot. That was a lovely shot. I mean, Milan, he did everything right then. There was absolutely nothing wrong with that shot. Got the position very quickly, moved his feet marvellously. 4 runs.
50 partnership.
50 partnership.
30
30 balls.
balls.
50 partnership.
Yeah, and Milan's obviously thumped that because Eskenazi's only got 12.
Well, that's fine. So they're now 56 off 7 overs, is it?
Jedlad says, I have the ideal song for Bob in honour of Middlesex's overseas player, Mujib Moments. I was thinking that one actually. Magic Moments, right? Magic Mujib. Mujib Moments. Get Bob to sing the Magic Moments. Diddly dum.
Magic. Yeah, Chris Little coming back from the who owns that field? Salters field. Yeah.
I thought it was Francis Rossi on commentary. #status quo, says Richard Dawson.
No, I'm sorry, Richard Dawson? He's a coach. He can't be listening.
No, another one. He's a photographer, this Richard Dawson.
It's Little coming back. Now, this is a bit of a gamble, I think. This is a make or break over. Absolute make or break over this. The little bowls. Oh, that goes through to Bracey behind the stumps, and that is in the wide. Thank you very much indeed.
Chris in Chicago. Chris is always on the move. He's still in Chicago. Yes, he is. Chris in Chicago says, so you've had the middle, some Status Quo, and Oasis, and Sandstorm playing in the ground.
Sandstorm, good, yeah.
Playing in the ground in the time I've been listening. That seems both totally right and totally wrong at the same time.
Correct. Little bowls again, and that's just a single. In fact, it's a bit of a misfield there, but a single nevertheless. Cobain does a bit of a... Well, it's the balls. I sent the outfield. I've never been on the outfield. The outfield is a little bit rough as you're going down the hill, probably.
Become a bit of Nirvana in Cobain's honour from you, Bob.
Yeah, Kurt Cobain. Yeah.
Smells like Teen Spirit.
Yeah, don't know that. How's it go?
No, I'm not singing it.
No. That's just another single. So little bowling. Well, this is a very important. He mustn't get hit for a boundary. Little comes in again, bowls. And that's up in the air. That's out. Cool. That's cool. Absolutely a simple catch to Klinger.
Just popped on him.
Yeah,
Eskenazi suggested.
Well, he did, and he just let up in the air, and that's a good wicket for Gloucestershire. A vital one, I'd say, as well.
This is a bit more like it. What's this? This is the Scottish band, isn't it?
The Pretenders.
Franz Ferdinand, that's it. That's a bit more like it. You want a bit of that, don't you? A bit of guitar.
Well, Eskenazi's gone for 12. Now, that doesn't matter too much, I don't think, Middlesex.
No, I think he had to try and push on, didn't he? I mean, Morgan sat back again. You don't want to leave too much to do too late. You know, Morgan comes out now with 6 and a bit overs to go, only 55 required, so he can try and get the pace of the pitch himself. Obviously, he's had a slight back injury. He gives a little nod of the head for
Owen Morgan, Stevie Eskenazi there, and that obviously reflecting the pitch, I'm sure. That ball's just stopped on him slightly, and he's ended up searching for it and pushed it straight to the cover fielder. A loopy, comfortable catch.
Much as I like Owen Morgan, I do, for England, but honestly, I can say, against Gloucestershire, I can remember at least 3 noughts at Cheltenham. I really can. And in the Championship match, I think he played in the Championship last season, he got a naught.
Yeah.
So, I think Gloucestershire got the diamond on him.
He got 70 as well, noughts and 70.
Yeah, he got 70 as well, obviously. But he got a naught in the other.
So a nice average of 35 early season match. Other than that, it was a good story.
He got a naught. Yeah, he did get a naught. No, I do remember in 2020, he really hasn't fired against Gloucestershire. We shall see what's happening, left-handed Morgan.
Mujib moments, I like that. From Jed Led.
Right, okay. Morgan obviously doing what he always does, just waiting to look at the field. A little bowling to him now. Over the wicket, left-hander, and gets himself a single straight away as the coffee cup falls over.
As the wind picks up, and it does feel like rain, doesn't it?
It does feel like rain.
Ooh, how's that DL? Well, still well ahead. Don't lose a wicket now. Well,
I tell you what, if it rains now, I think if we get another wicket now, I think it'll be very tight.
DL is 105 for the end of this over, the 14th. The Middlesex are 115 for 2.
Yeah, but a wicket can change things drastically. Here's Little again, bowls. And that's cut away. Is there a third man there? Yes, there is a third man there. And the ball comes in, and it's another single. This is an impressive over from Little, I've got to say.
Change of ends, change of fortunes for Little.
How many of it so far, June? 3. Last ball to come. This is a very important ball, this. Very important. No, it isn't an important ball, this. If it goes for 6 or 4, the over's in disarray.
Yes. Well, they've got the breakthrough, haven't they? Well, it's Morgan's first ball. No, it's his second ball, isn't it?
Yeah,
I doubt he'll go for a big one.
No, that's all right. Just a single. We'll have that. Take that. No problem at all. 117 for 2.
You'd imagine these two will try and tickle it for a little bit now. And Milan just try and anchor the innings through, and then at some point Morgan will open up when he gets the pace of it if he can, because it's a pitch where you'd probably say you never quite feel fully in.
Well, there's 6 overs to get 52. No, that's just over 7 and over, isn't it? Which is less than 8, which it was at one time.
We said that if they got something around that 160, 170 mark, it would make for a good match, because no side would ever truly feel out of it chasing, you wouldn't have thought, and that's the case, because if you put 2 wickets on the board now, then for sure. This game's got back in the balance. You'd still expect Middlesex to do it, but it would be tight. I think we'd have to say that probably is around a par score, isn't it? The 170 that they got to. Here goes Higgins around the wicket. He bowls to Milan. It's a low full toss. Sorry, to Morgan. It's a low full toss, and it's driven hard out to the deep cover boundary where they'll take 2. Milan moves to 4. Oh, and a slip from the fielder. I hope he's okay, because I was looking for the ball to be returned, didn't he? As he picked it up long before. And then I looked back, and he was on his backside, Hammonds, but just 2 runs.
It's all right.
119 for 2. Generous applause from the crowd as he goes back to his position. Oh, was that for the slip?
It was.
Higgins around the wicket, he bowls, and Morgan runs it to the short third man. Single taken. 120 for 2. It really does have a feel of a bit of rain about to hit. Here it says temperatures dropped, winds picked up, lights dimmed.
Well, it's going to be tight.
You can almost smell the rain, can't you, Bob?
If we got a wicket now, it's going to be very close on Duckworth Lewis. I can tell you that.
Is that the rain I can nearly smell?
I can smell rain, yes. I can smell the rain.
Here's Higgins, he's around the wicket, he bowls, and this ball's driven by Morgan out to deep cover for a single. 121 for 2 here on BBC Radio London and BBC Bristol. Bob Hunt, myself, Kevin Hand.
Yeah, we need a wicket. We do need a wicket, because a wicket can change things drastically in Duckworth Lewis, can't it? As we well know.
Yes.
True, you'll be winning. Come on, Gloucestershire, get him out. Come on, Morgan's no good.
Higgins around the wicket, bowls to Morgan. He chops down hard onto this, out to deep cover for a single. 122 for 2.
You're right, the clouds are coming in.
Yep. Thank you, Jed, for alerting us to it, that rain was forecast around this time. One of those rain radars at the moment probably has the forecast showing a little bit of rain in the area. Higgins in, bowls, and reverse sweep from Milan. That's what he tried, a couple of overs back off Higgins, which he only managed to push in front of point. This one goes as fine as he intended it to on the reverse. And 4 more, it's 126 for 2, and he's on to 71.
Well, that was a full toss, wasn't it? And it was easy to just...
Could Milan be thinking about another century in T20 cricket here? I think he's got 3 to his name already. He's scored 1 this season. Higgins bowls, and Milan goes big at this one and just clears that short fine leg for 4 more.
He's got a hand to it.
Yeah, he didn't quite get as much for it as he wanted, Milan. As you say, short fine leg throw up 2 hands and got fingertips to it, but 4 it is. 130 for 2, 75 for Milan, 39 more to win, 15 overs bowled here at Radlitz in the T20.
Yeah, it's Middlesex's game now, you would think.
Oh, we've got dancers, Bob, look, over there.
Where?
Over there, they're waving their scorecards. They're
that's all they're doing. They're not dancing.
There was 2 of them over there who are up. They like this song.
Okay.
This is a bit more like it, this song. Took a while to warm up today, didn't it?
Yeah. Well,
I'm still not sure that Sweet Caroline would really go down. It might do if they get close to the victory now, Middlesex. They might have had a few G&Ts by now, mightn't they, the crowd?
5 overs to get 39 runs.
I reckon Radlitt's a G&T crowd, don't you?
Oh, definitely. Little bowls, and that's down to third man. Third man runs into field. They come back for a second, and they don't just 1 run. I mean, Little... I know I've said this so often, but Little is a strange bowler. He's a good bowler, is Little, but he does bowl the old short ball, doesn't he, Julian Clark? He does.
It feels like there's rain sitting above us, and the rain radar does indeed suggest that it is about to hit us.
Well, we need 2 wickets
DL now. Is 124 for the end of the over, and Middlesex are 131 for 2 at the start of it.
I tell you what, it is dark out there now, isn't it? Dark.
If a wicket were to fall this ball, it would make that DL really interesting.
Little bowls. Oh, he goes down the wicket. I mean, they want to get on with it, but I don't see the reason why. But look at the scoreboard.
Probably what they want to do now is not get on with it. Do not lose a wicket right now. You're ahead on the DL. But another wicket might put them, another boundary, of course, might put them a long way ahead of the DL.
Well, that's it. I just think they should stay.
There's only 2 balls gone of the over, isn't there? And the DL for the end of the over is 124. In fact, the DL for now is 119.
And that's up in the air, and it goes out to the Higgins, who's fielding on the leg side boundary. A long throw comes in.
The big screen's operating again, and the DL on the scoreboard up there is telling us ball by ball. So the DL half score currently is 120, and Middlesex are 132 for 2. But again, a wicket would very much...
Oh, yeah, wicket. You need a wicket.
Interesting. Can you imagine that if a wicket were to fall now and then the heavens opened? Well, I still
think a wicket would... Middlesex would probably
still have their noses in front.
Yeah. Just ahead, I think.
But it's pretty worth... I'm sure Milan and Morgan, with their experience, will probably be thinking.
Now. Very dark. Oh, that's all right. That's a good shot. That's gone for 6.
Over long arm.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, was there?
No, one hand thrown up by the long arm fielder, but he cleared him comfortably. That helps against that DL. I mean, if you look at the old school electronic scoreboard, that's very bright, all those orange numbers now. It really feels like we're about to be hit by the most almighty shower. But that 6 helps push them a long way clear of the DL. I'm sure the batsman with the DL ball by ball on that screen would have an eye on it, wouldn't they? Given how the light, the temperature and the wind has changed here.
I think they're actually keen to finish this off very quickly.
Or does that as well?
That's just a dot. No, it's a single. They come for a quick single. Tom Smith runs in from backward point to the fielding. So it's 30 runs off 4 overs. Well, get these easy. Should do.
Yeah.
The only mitigating fact is the light, which is poor. But I mean, you think the light is bad for the batsmen. It's equally bad for the fielding side, isn't it?
It is, yes.
It bowls again. And that's a little clip, and it's going to go for 2. That's a very, I tell you what, that's a very, very well measured 2. That is, because they took the pace off the ball, and Little had to go and do his own fielding, his own bowling, and it's 2 runs to the end of the total. Little finished his spell, 4 overs, 2 for 32. and they need 28 with 24 balls remaining.
Andrew Wilmot says, I really don't understand how Milan isn't back in the current England side, especially if Australia are going to bring back their quicks in future games in the series. Dave Roberts says, what's the situation for next season when Paul Sterling becomes an overseas player? Will he stay as the overseas championship player or just play T20? That all still to be decided.
It's Brexit, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's Ireland getting test status.
Oh, of course.
So when Ireland got test status, the Ireland players were allowed to see out their current domestic contracts. As here is Ty, right arm over the wicket, he bowls. This ball's clipped away into the onside by Morgan for a single, 142 for 2. So Mercer and Sterling this September are left to make a decision as to whether they stay as Ireland international players or become non-overseas in England.
We'll have Sterling.
Well, indeed. I mean, that would be the thing for Middlesex. If he did become an overseas, they'd surely bring him back as an overseas, because they would not want Paul Sterling lining up against them. Here's Ty bowls, Milan drives away into the covers. Lovely looking shot. The deep cover actually giving chase. He is just going to get there. And they've taken 2. Higgins out there, 144 for 2.
I can't see the ball now.
Milan moves to 80.
I really can't, honestly.
No, and you can feel spits of rain in the air now.
Spitty spots, yeah. People aren't beginning to take cover. If we can get a hat-trick now, we'd probably win it. Unlikely. It's only 5 ahead, though. Oh, no, it isn't. It's 15 ahead. Sorry.
Ty is right arm over. Bowls. Milan slaps hard, wide of long on. Be a chase on here for the 2 fielders. They're running hard the first. And the ball is collected out there for just a single. Then Milan's on to 81 from 52. 145 for 2. And how many to win? 24. Milan needs 19 for his century. Morgan has 15 from 9.
Milan's been untroubled, really, isn't he? I must say.
He's looked good, yeah. But then he's looked good all year, Milan. He really has. A huge amount of runs in the championship in the Blasts this summer. As Ty comes in, bowls, and this ball's run away to the short third man for a single by Morgan. Moves to 16, 146 for 2. It is getting incredibly dark out there. Without any shadow of a doubt, we wouldn't be playing right now.
And black sight screens as well.
Definitely there's rain falling at the moment, because you can almost feel it blowing in on the breeze into our tent at the moment. So here comes Ty, 2 balls left of his day, none for 27. He bowls to Milan, who slaps hard out to deep mid-wicket. It's in front of the fielder and it's going to go for 4. Milan's on to 85 and Middlesex are 150 for 2 in the 17th over, 19 to win. And Milan
can see that. How can he see that ball?
Yes. I think the umpires would be quite happy for the game to finish rather quickly here, which would avoid any annoying wait for a rain delay as well. So I'm assuming we'll have half an hour or so to play with if the rain was to stop playing.
Well, presumably the covers are. Well, it's not. They can't cover the outfield here, can they? I wouldn't have thought.
They've got reasonable covers. Here's Ty. Bowls to Milan, who hooks into the onside and will pick up a single, so he'll keep the strike. He moves to 86. Middlesex 151 for 2. Milan needing 14 for the century and on strike for the next over, the 17th, and 18 required for the victory.
3 overs to go. 18 runs to victory. 6. Well, pardon? 1 ball. 184. 18 to win. Thank you. 18.
Did you keep up with that, Bob?
No,
did you? Okay.
Yeah, I was succinctly put. Well,
Andrew Wilmot says Bob's commentary is more 1 foot in the behave. Loving it, he says. Well, said you were Victor Melzer earlier.
Now here's David Payne. Now he's got 2 overs to bowl of David Payne.
Derek in Hurstpit Point, he's a pessimist. This is tight. Come on the middle, he says. Here's the rain. Now, umpires, do they try and see through a shower and see this victory?
No, we want wickets.
I didn't say for who.
Payne bowls again. And a single. No, dot ball. Ooh. If it's raining now, they've got to come off. They have to come off, I would have thought.
DL is 145 for the end of the over. It's 151 for 2 after 1 ball at the start of it. The current DL for the next delivery is 138. Middlesex are 151 for 2. Well, a wicket. Well, they'd still be ahead.
Umbrellas go up.
Can Milan hit 3 quick sixes here?
I think you can play in this, actually.
You probably can. It seems as though it's eased. It seems as though it was a burst and it's eased a little.
Payne bowls again. and goes for a short, sharp single. All aimed at the stumps, and a good backing up from the Gloucestershire contingent. Well, I've got to say, I mean, I'm disappointed that Gloucestershire aren't going to win this one, but it's been a good game, and
you haven't shown that disappointment at all today, Bob.
Well, I haven't.
Are you really?
I'm smiling now, but I'm not underneath. Morgan's on 16. Well, I mean, what a partnership to finish the game. Milan and Morgan. But it's pitch dark now. The rain comes down, and that's going to be out court. It's going to be out court. He's out court.
The drama.
Now what happens?
Morgan departs for 16, 152 for 3. Now what does that do to the DL? Well, as the rain is starting to tip it down here at Radlett. Again, it seems to be going in bursts at the moment because it went very heavy for a moment. We could hear it on the roof, but then it seems a bit scattered again, this shower, so...
Well, it is raining.
Yes.
I mean, you're playing at North Liverpool. I tell you, Morgan's a shrewd old boy. He's walking off very, very slowly, isn't he?
Well, as that DL adjusted, it's gone to 142, has it, with Middlesex 152 for 3. So they're 10 ahead of the DL at the moment. I think it's adjusted. So here comes Scott. Morgan gone for 16 from 11. So DLS 142 currently. And 145 for the end of the over. Has that adjusted though? I'm not sure it has.
I don't think it has.
I don't think it has.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, that was...
It was 145 for the end of the over before the wicket fell, wasn't it, the DL? Pretty sure it was, yeah. The DL currently is 140 for this delivery. That can't be right, can it? It seems to have gone down rather than up. So 142 is the DLS perhaps for the next ball then?
Well, we need this.
So it has adjusted.
Another wicket we need now. Spain comes in and bowls to Scott, to Milan, Milan is the man in form, and he gets a single. I mean, it is that misfield down there. That was
getting slippery. It will be getting slippery
out there. It is slippery out there. I mean, this is a complete farce. I can't see anything.
Well, anything other than the Gloucestershire victory is a complete farce in your eyes.
It's gone pitch black. It's like November.
November's usually quite nice in this country, isn't it? Nice in July.
Milan's on 89, and well, I can't see where that ball's gone. Oh, I can. It's gone out to Ty, who's fielding it. It is AJ Ty.
Yeah, deep mid-wicket.
But the trouble is, you see, if this goes on...
Yeah, the rain has stopped, we should add.
It is the light.
Incredibly dark.
So what's going to happen here is...
Any floodlights, yeah.
So how many balls is over to go? Two. One ball to go, so there's 13 balls to get 14 runs. It could be a tie.
Much like Lords, there's retractable floodlights. It's a bit like Tracy Island. There's going to be one of those trees will just dip to one side and the floodlight will come up.